Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
Hello, you little gremlin.
Hi.
Hello, you little grub.
I'm a gremlin, I'm a grub. Here for a bit of fun. Doesn't quite rhyme, but
It doesn't rhyme at all.
Yeah, you say something about yum. Let's try it again. But end in yum. Or...
I'm a gremlin, I'm a grub, and this podcast will be yum.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I think it would have made more sense if you said this podcast would be yub, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, wait. I was meant to rhyme with... Oh, boy.
Sometimes it sounds like you, or seems like you're doing a bit, but then you are absolutely not doing a bit.
No, never doing a bit. Everything I say is genuine.
He's a very sincere man.
Yeah.
It's great to be here, doing what we do every week.
So grub and yum don't rhyme.
No.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Man, that would have been infuriating to listen to.
We're already learning here today. But Jess, what do we usually do here?
Wow, what a fantastic question and a beautiful segue. What we do here is one of the three of us researches a topic, often suggested by our wonderful listeners. They take that topic, they study it, they research it, they other word for the same thing.
They yum it.
They yum it.
I don't think that quite works there, Dave.
They absorb it and they write a little report is what we call it. Bring it back to the other two who listen politely, who never interrupt, who never go on dog shit riffs, and who definitely can rhyme. And it's Dave's turn, which means Matt and I get to sass it up as the Sass Twins.
Dave's time.
And we are already red hot.
I'm a gremlin, I'm a grub,
Yeah.
and I'm about to do the podcast that I love. Is that closer?
That's good. Yeah, that's good. And Dave, we always start with a question.
All right. My question for both of you, but more for one of you than the other, let's be honest.
Wow.
Well, which one?
I mean, he's looking at you.
You're fine. No, now I'm looking at you.
Okay.
Hands on buzzers. We'll just yell it out if you know it. What is the dumbest transport?
Submarines!
It is submarines. Correct.
They're dumb. They're so silly.
I love them.
Yeah, I don't
think they're
hate them.
fantastic.
Do you love a sub?
I love them. I love a sub.
I love a sub.
Oh my god. I'm a gremlin, I'm a grub, and I'm about to tell you about sub. It was there.
That third sentence was way too long.
I'm a gremlin, I'm a grub.
He's a tail of a sub.
There you go.
Okay.
Do you see how it goes? Yeah, he's very good. I want to just on the record. I think people have misunderstood my.
Misunderstood.
They've misunderstood. People think I hate submarines. I don't hate them. I just think they're very silly.
Yeah, and you love whimsy.
I love whimsy. I think they are so silly. Like, really just think about it and look at it. They got a little periscope for looking around. That's so funny. And they're like a boat that goes, I'm hiding. I'm down here. Ooh, it's so dumb and funny and I love them.
Oh, that's so great because so today's topic involving that dumb transport was suggested by Andrew Mallard from Indiana, apparently from near Muncie.
Oh.
Andrew wrote, this topic was voted on by the Patreon supporters at patreon.com/dogoonpod. I put up 3 separate topics and I said, let me know in the comments what you voted for and why. This got over 50% of the vote.
Wow.
And nearly every comment was, because I want to hear Jess talk about it.
I love them. You know what else I could talk about? Muncie, Indiana, because that is where Jerry from Parks and Rec loves to holiday.
Ah.
I thought it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
I'm when he said near Muncie, I'm like, who cares? If you're in Indiana, how close to Gary are we?
Yeah.
That's the question on everyone's lips.
Are you going to look it up?
Yes.
Or are you just doing something else on your computer? Are you just playing Battleship?
He just opened his laptop for some other
He's just
reason.
playing a game.
I'm sending an invoice.
I maybe in the past I've said I hate submarines. I don't hate them. I don't wish they never existed.
But you don't understand them.
I think they're very silly.
Do you fear them? Because fear leads to anger.
No, I'm sure in some ways I envy them. Because I don't like being underwater. It makes me anxious.
Oh, fair enough.
You know, like I remember we were in year 7 and playing in my friend Liv's pool in the backyard, and we were trying to tie something to a big inflated crocodile or something. So I was going underneath it, and I didn't like being under the water with something on top of me. Like not having immediate access to fresh air. So I don't think I ever want to go in a submarine.
You'd probably hate to do that swimming under the ice as well.
Oh, yeah.
I find that so terrifying.
Yeah.
Like that surprising me. You'd probably
You'd probably hate that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Not being
Okay.
able to access oxygen. Probably
You
hate
know,
that.
falling through the ice and then being sort of swept away from the hole and being like,
Yeah.
tapping,
I personally would hate that.
Yeah, that's
You'd
interesting.
hate that,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
I just think take experiences on, Jess.
Yeah.
Fall under the ice, get swept away.
Yeah. See what happens.
See what happens.
I
That could
developed
be
some
you.
great mime skills.
Exactly, new
Yeah.
experiences.
Um,
Is it true, Matt, that we have, I think I've heard you say this before, we have people who are submariners that listen to this show?
We do.
What do you
And
mean?
I think one got in contact with us, and I can't remember. I saw it, and then I didn't. But they're from. I think they're based maybe in Perth, and
Oh.
said that they'll give us a tour of the sub if we're ever back over there.
cool.
It's incredible, but then there's some sort of incident in the ocean and we're immediately called to war and we're stuck in there going, let us out.
No.
But then they go, you've all been officially given the titles of submariners.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they'd probably put me in charge.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
They'd probably get Dave on the poop decks. They
Yeah.
have them? They have sub poop decks?
Yeah, well, I'd be on the intercom.
Yeah, I'd do
gentlemen,
radio stuff.
Yeah.
But not like communication, just
No,
like
you
I'd be
entertain the
spinning
troops.
I'd be spinning tracks.
Yeah.
Hot tracks.
Here's a bit of share.
That's right. Again. I only have one tape.
Do you
Do you
believe?
believe?
Which you would have thought it'd be Turn Back Time because that was the one on the Navy ship. But anyway.
Brought the wrong tape. Okay, let us start. Before we
Muncie's nowhere near Gary, by the way.
Right.
How far are we
okay.
talking?
Well, like in terms of...
In the same state.
Close to
It's in the
Nice,
same
but-
state, but it's way closer to Indianapolis.
Uh-huh. You nailed that.
Absolutely got it out.
I think I hit that just right.
Indianapolis.
It's a 3-hour drive.
Is that all?
That's not bad.
You'd
Yeah,
drive
not
3
bad.
hours to go to heaven, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Just saying.
I would.
For a glimpse.
Just have a look. For a visit.
Yeah.
Be good if you could just visit.
Day trip.
Anyway, do you probably want to start the episode?
Yeah, well, before we get to the main topic, which does involve a submersible vehicle, let us start with a brief history of submarines.
Right.
For millennia, man has stared at fish and thought, I want to do that. And then
Wait. Want to do the fish? Is that what you're saying?
I want to have sex with this thing. If only there was some sort of machine that could get me closer for this
I
liaison.
want to do that. Dave, I don't know what men you've been hanging around the last few millennia, but Jess, have you seen people who want to fuck fish?
Mainly Troy McClure.
Yeah, right. Isn't that what the saying is? We're not here to fuck fish. That's what it's about. We're not here to do that.
But some people from millennia have thought,
Yeah.
actually.
Actually, I am here.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but I grew up with the alternative version of We're Not Here to Fuck Spiders.
No.
I don't think you
I
have
grew
got
up with
this
We're Not Here to Fuck Fish. And no one else recalls it, but that's a real Mandela effect type situation.
Even in your family. So for people overseas, maybe there's a phrase that sometimes people say, we're not here to fuck spiders. Like, we're not here to muck around. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
And your family said, we're not here to fuck fish.
I should check in with my family about it, but that's how I recall it. Yeah, I believed that's how I always said it. We're not here to fuck fish. I think it's the superior one.
Do you think your family had to say that because your family does have sex with spiders?
Yeah,
It would
we
have
were
been-
often going around fucking spiders.
It would have been inaccurate to say that.
Yeah, it would have been inaccurate, and we like to be in an arachnids. If you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean?
He's made it one sentence into the report.
Sorry. Yeah, but
We've been going for 12 minutes.
That didn't feel worth it until the interactive.
I agree. I fully agree.
Very
Oh
worth
my
it.
god!
Yeah.
That's so brutal
really
to get that insight into your mind. You're going, not worth it, not worth
Yeah,
it.
cut all
Okay,
this.
just
Oh,
worth it.
hang on.
No, very worth it. Somehow he's pulled it out of the bag yet again.
Yeah, that's what he does to the fish.
No,
Before he
that's
fucks
not
it.
what I'm there to do.
All right, there were various plans for submersible boats and crafts throughout the Middle Ages, but the first major design that is commonly pointed to came from Englishman William Bourne, who designed a prototype sub in 1578. His design called for a completely enclosed wooden vessel sheathed in waterproofed leather.
Wow. Wooden
And covered in leather. Sadly, it was not built in his lifetime.
Wow.
It's more like a submersible lounge, like a leather. What do you call those leather lounges?
Like a lazy boy.
Yeah. Like a submersible lazy boy. What are those fancy? Chesterfield.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Right.
It's like
yeah.
a submersible Chesterfield.
Yeah.
They'd be timber with leather on top.
Leather,
Yeah. Okay. Think to name another thing that's timber with leather on top, but you can't. Maybe one of those bucking bronco machines.
Oh, that's God. He's done it. He's done it.
You've done it. You challenged us and then you did it.
I bet you're thinking
I
this.
bet. Yeah, good fucking luck naming anything else like a bucking bronco. God damn it.
So the first operational submarine came in 1620, designed by a Dutchman with an incredible name, Cornelius Drebbel.
Drebbel.
That's a great
Ooh,
name.
I like that a lot.
I like it.
Cornelius Drebbel.
He
the
sounds
third.
like a submariner. You'd put a Drebbel down there.
Oh, yeah. He sounds like he's got a long mustache, too, to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
You feeling that, hearing that? He built the submarine whilst working for the British Navy. It was also wooden and covered in leather, so there's a third thing. A different type of sub. He built a few, and the third and final model could carry 16 passengers and was propelled by 6 oars.
Oh wow. That'd be okay. Yep. It sounds stupid. Like it sounds like so much work. If it's paddled by oars and you got to go underwater, that's going to be really hard to. The resistance is going to be really hard to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what purpose? Why do we have to go underwater?
Like man-powered oars?
Gotta
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, they're man-powered oars.
Yeah, because the whole, the best part of rowing, I imagine,
Is the bit where it's
It's the
out
bit where
of the
it's
water.
out of the
Yeah,
water.
there you go. Oh,
see
thank
'em-
God.
No relief.
those old Viking ships?
Yeah.
They're going, there you go,
But what would it sound like if it was just
And then, if your plan is to sort of sneak up on the enemy, they can hear you coming because you're yelling like that the whole time.
But underwater, you can see. So that submarine stayed submerged for 3 hours at a time and could travel from Westminster to Greenwich and back, cruising at a depth between 12 and 15 feet or 4 to 5 meters. So it's probably underwater.
Yeah.
When was this?
This is in 1620.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, wow.
That's surprising to me.
And according to royal.gov.uk, so I trust this, Drebbel even took King James I in this submarine on a test dive beneath the Thames, making James I the first monarch to travel underwater.
Holy shit. James Stewart.
He did it.
Wow.
Which made me do a deep dive, pun intended, on which monarchs have been on subs. Couldn't really find any others. I've seen a photo of Queen Elizabeth II using a periscope on a submarine that she was touring, but I don't know whether it was underwater at the time.
So what are you looking at then? Just look out a window.
Yeah.
Why do you need a periscope?
Honestly, it's too high at that point. You're above the water.
Yeah, well, okay, you can see the horizon.
Yeah.
What were her minders doing? Just letting her look a fool like that?
She sounds like an idiot.
How many royals have eaten a sub?
That's good.
Ooh, that's a good
Hey,
question.
Did
sub.
you look into that?
Eating a hoagie,
Yeah.
taking it down. Do you think the Queen ever had Subway?
Nah. Do you think she's ever had McDonald's?
Oh, yes, I don't mind a junior burger at times. Man, it's so good to know that she's there still.
Doing well.
Always looking down on us from her little spot in the castle there.
Yep.
Her palace, she's got the periscope looking down on her subjects.
Yeah, she's got a reverse periscope. It goes down
You can
periscope.
look at her? Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's a mirror.
Cornelius Drebbel, the guy that made the sub, tried to get the Admiralty on board to use the subs for the purposes of war, but they were not interested. They saw it more as a king-carrying device
Right.
and nothing else for war. So according to the good people at Britannica, the submarine that was first used as an offensive weapon in naval warfare occurred during the American Revolution between 1775 and 1783. The Turtle, a one-man craft invented by David Bushnell, who was a student at Yale, was built of wood in the shape of a walnut standing on end and was powered by cranks operated by the single occupant.
What a weird name for it.
The
The
turtle.
turtle when
Honestly-
it's designed based on a walnut.
And if you look it up, it looks like it genuinely looks like a walnut. You stand up in it and sort of move your arms to power.
You
Wow.
call them walnuts. Is that right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Walnut. Walnut.
Now I'm not going to be able to say it right ever again.
Now I'm overthinking it too.
Walnut.
Jess, have a go for us.
Walnut.
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 Yeah, walnut. Oh my God. What a beautiful nut it is.
Beautiful.
Looks
And
like a
Crack it
testicle.
open. Yeah, testicle, little brain. Same.
Same. Same thing. You're probably thinking with one of them. Am I right?
Yeah, my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd stand up in it.
yeah, and the plan was to have the Turtle, as it's called, make an underwater approach to a British warship, who were the enemy at the time, attach a charge of gunpowder to the ship's hull by a screw device operated from within the craft, and leave before the charge was exploded by a time fuse. In the actual attack, however, the Turtle was unable to force the screw through the copper sheathing of the warship's hull. So they just sort of tried to drill and it just didn't work.
Oh.
Okay. It's silly.
I was going to say, Jess, this must be making you think, maybe they're not so silly after all.
Yeah. It seems like they've been effective for a very long time.
And the Turtle inventor David Bushnell also invented a floating mine that would detonate on contact. So he's an ideas man. This
Yeah,
David.
wow.
But again, he did not have success with the mine. He attempted to use a floating mine to blow up the HMS Cerberus in Connecticut. However, the mine struck a small boat near Cerberus and it detonated, killing 4 sailors and destroying the vessel, but not the intended target.
Wow.
Oops. So in 1778, he had another go. He launched what became known as the Battle of the Kegs.
Ooh.
Kegs being a nickname given to the mine. He launched a series of mines floated down the Delaware River with the hope of taking out the British ships anchored at the bottom. The ships were unharmed. The only casualties were 2 curious boys who were killed when they touched the mine, which is obviously tragic. And to make matters worse, the premature explosion alerted the British to the impending attack, so it really backfired.
Great.
So not a lot of luck for David Bushnell. David Bushnell and his
The walnut.
Walnut, the Turtle. It was pretty dark inside these old subs, and before electricity, they used candles to light their way inside, which is obviously fraught with danger in such an enclosed space.
Farting.
Yeah.
It's about farting.
Yeah.
Gas build-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, if only they'd been able to harness it, because the other big problem was how to propel them forwards. First, they were powered by cranks, pedals, or oars, like I said. Not efficient.
So tough.
Then steam power was used from a coal-fired boiler, but the fire had to be extinguished before the crew submerged, otherwise they would suffocate. So the residual heat that had built up would propel them a few miles before they would literally run out of steam.
Right. Jeez.
So you'd have to plan when you were going really well, otherwise you'd be stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my God. They're so silly.
Yeah, I'm starting to see Jess's point of view here.
I'm sorry if you're a submariner. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're just a bit silly.
Yes, they are, but they tried new things. The French tried a compressed air engine, but again, the power was only fleeting. Finally, the electric motor came into play and made propulsion via a battery power possible. The submarine, the Nautilus, built in 1886 by 2 Englishmen, was an all-electric craft. I assume it was named after the Jules Verne submarine of the same name. It was propelled by 2 50-horsepower electric motors operated from a 100-cell storage battery and could reach a surface speed of 6 knots or 11 k an hour. So it's sort of just... Are you laughing at that speed?
Yeah.
That you're like, I could outrun this sub.
11 k's an hour. I could.
All you'd have to do is float to the bottom of the ocean and just start running.
I could, like, over 100 meters. I could run it. You know, I couldn't run for an hour.
Well, the battery had to be constantly recharged, and that was a problem. But the furthest it could go on one charge was 80 miles. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. What's that in k's? Sorry.
120 something.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty good.
I've got a bike that can do probably like 80 k's on a charge.
I've got a bike that can do as long as it wants.
Yeah, that's right. that's better actually. Mine's definitely more fun up a hill, but it does require a battery
Right,
charge
but
at some point.
you're telling me you never have to recharge your
Never have
bike?
to recharge the
Wow.
bike. I guess I've got to recharge the me.
Yeah, you're the power then.
How often are you recharging? You?
I'm normally recharging once a day.
Oh, that's the same with Jess's batteries.
I guess
all right?
I guess so. If we didn't have planes and you were explaining the idea of a plane to me, I'd go, that's just silly. You sit there and they bring you drinks and stuff? This is ridiculous, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna lay off the submarines.
I think planes are just like they're submarines of the air.
Yeah.
They're
They're
very similar.
submarines.
It's just a tube,
Yeah.
which is sort of what a submarine is.
And I don't fully understand how they work.
No.
I don't understand how submarines go underwater. I don't understand how planes go up in the sky
Yeah.
and stay up there.
Right.
I don't get it.
Do you understand how like cars drive?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, should we just break this down? Do you understand anything?
Oh, I can't think of anything that I understand, so I guess not. It's a nice way to live, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like these microphones, do you know how they work?
God, no.
Isn't that wild?
It makes no
They're
sense.
somehow capturing our sounds.
And we sound so good. And this little thing, it stops me from going pa, 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 all the time, you know?
I couldn't even hear that.
That's crazy. Can't hear that, whatever.
Can't
hear it.
What can't we hear?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, when you think about it, I don't understand anything either.
You
No.
understand more than most, I think.
I don't know about that.
You're pretty smart. Or you can at least appear smart.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah.
It's just because he wears glasses.
Oh, I've got some in my bag. Should I put them on?
I've got a.
I think you're beyond help, mate.
I reckon it would really up your
help?
smart look.
Yes. Anyway.
Finally, diesel-powered electric propulsion became the dominant power system, and instruments such as the periscope would become standardized.
Yes.
And
Well, how else are you going to look around?
I think I actually don't know. They're just feeling
surely-
around down there.
Surely they didn't have heaps of windows down there.
No.
What I would have done is had like a dome, like a glass dome on the top.
Yeah,
so
that
you
you
could
could
stick
just-
your head out and just go, oh yeah. So
I
That's
agree.
pretty good.
I agree.
What about you just put like a big snorkel on the front of the sub,
Yep.
and then you just have a look.
Oh, yeah. So just like goggles.
Goggles, sorry, yeah, the mask bit.
why not just a window?
Yeah. Why does it have to be goggles?
Why not make it all? Forget leather. What about glass?
Yeah, so
Make it
All
all
glass.
glass.
yeah, wood covered in glass.
Yeah.
So
you
people can see
right
the
through
wood
it. Yeah.
from the outside, and then you can see
Yeah.
the wood from the inside, so everyone can see the wood.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
quality.
That's the worst part about the design is that there are times where people can't see the wood.
Yeah. They can only see the leather. That's sad.
That's sad. So at the
You actually bummed me out there.
So at the turn of the 20th century, a lot of European powers started building what we would recognise today as modern-day submarines, and by the eve of World War I, all of the major navies included subs in their fleets. Then in the 1950s, nuclear-powered subs began being developed and were a huge leap forward. Since the nuclear reactor needed no oxygen at all, a single power plant could now suffice for both surface and submerged operation. And since a very small quantity of nuclear fuel provided power over a very long period, a nuclear sub could operate completely submerged at high speed indefinitely. This meant that unlike diesel-powered subs that had to sneak up on enemies and conserve their limited power for sneaking away to avoid counterattacks,
Yep.
nuclear subs can power on all and party all day and all night.
Hell
Whoa.
yeah. Yep.
Never stop rocking.
They're just like, pew, here I am. Bang,
Yeah, I'm
out
over
I
here.
go. See you later.
See you later.
Whatever.
Fuck you. Got you. You're
Yeah.
dead.
Put their sunnies on. Highway to the danger zone.
So on the other side of the cassette, it's share and then Kenny
I've got 2 songs. We have to do a lot of talk back.
What kind of topics are you throwing out there?
What are the best snacks in the canteen?
Mm-hmm.
Who have you got a crush on?
Who have you got a crush on?
Call in now.
That fart last Thursday. Who do we reckon that was? We all know the one.
That fart.
Stuck
That
the whole
fart.
place.
Yeah.
You know, who does the best whale sounds? Call in for your chance to win.
Ooh.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm a professional. I've done it a long time.
Yeah.
So
You're very good.
yeah, thank you.
Size-wise, it all peaked in the 1970s with the Russian Typhoon-class submarines, the biggest ever built. Nuclear-powered, they were almost 600 feet or 175 metres long,
Whoa.
and able to accommodate comfortable living facilities for the crew of 160 submerged for several months.
Is it like multi-story inside?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty cool.
It's like a luxury cruise liner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only it's under the sea.
Do you want a submarine to be big? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should they be small and stealthy? What are they for? What's the point of them? Stealth, I imagine, because
Bit
you
of
can't see
stealth.
them.
Taking out enemy ships.
So do you want it to be huge? I'm
guess-
glad they're comfortable.
Yeah, everyone's got their own ensuite.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's like it's the first one you get a real advantage on your enemies, but then they all get them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, now what? We're fighting underwater.
And they all
Come
got
on.
fucking
Who's-
sonar or radar, whatever.
Can we just all agree to not do this anymore?
Come on, guys.
You know, like
Let's
who
keep it
can be
above the
bothered?
surface, shall we?
Yeah, just let's make new rules
Yeah.
above the surface.
Yep. Or go deeper into the Earth's core.
Okay. Well, the first person going to the first country to go on the Earth's core, they'll have a real advantage there. Some sort of Earth submarines, that can travel sort of like Bugs Bunny.
Yep. Yeah.
They'll have an advantage and then everyone else will be doing it.
Exactly.
And all
It's
of a
the same
sudden,
thing.
Like the world's just going to fall in on itself because of all the holes in there. What have we really achieved?
What have we done?
In so many ways, war is pointless.
Oh, wow. Matt, that is an interesting point.
I think we should stop them.
Okay.
If you're out there right now, I'm not going to name names, but if you're out there right now doing war,
yes,
stop it.
Cut it out. That's what we think. Dave, you're obviously very pro-war.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole industrial complex is good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
keeps economies going.
Yeah, the economy's addicted to it. It's sustainable for sure.
Sorry if I went quiet there. That wasn't me agreeing with war. It was me looking up if they are multi-story, and they are.
Cool.
They even have some
a pool.
Of them, a small swimming pool.
Get fucked.
Someone's asked, why do Typhoon-class submarines have swimming pools inside? Isn't that a waste of space that could be used to store more food? And someone wrote back, they're not exactly swimming pools, as you can't really swim. It's just a pool where you can dip off after sweating it out in the sauna.
It's a plunge pool.
It's a plunge pool, but still, that's pretty cool.
And they have a sauna.
Yeah.
That'd be great because you'd want to be the first in though, wouldn't you? Because otherwise you're dipping in everyone else's sweat.
Exactly. And then you're just coming out more sweaty.
Yeah.
And you're like, hang on a second.
I've
This
got
doesn't even
layers.
smell like my BO.
No.
This
I've
smells
got
like
Kevin's.
Oh, Kevin's BO is the worst. I reckon he did the fart as well.
Yeah.
He's awful, Kevin.
I'm going to
Yeah.
call into the radio station.
And Kevin's like, no, don't. Don't. My mum listens to that. My mum's also on the sub.
Don't.
Seeping out of his every pore.
Disgusting, Kevin.
That's because we all know when Kevin called in and said, my favourite snack is beans.
Yeah, we fucking know,
we
Kevin.
knew.
Check that, Kevin.
We knew that, Kevin. And stop cooking fish in the microwave.
It's disgusting, Kevin.
It's a shared space. Your smell lingers.
Coming up, the secret sound. It's probably Kevin farting again.
But I did find another tape, and it's Linger. So does feel appropriate.
Did you have to? Did you have to?
Did you have to let it linger?
Dedicated to Kevin again. So being in a sub is pretty isolating, particularly if you're on board and away from family for weeks, if not many months at a time. The United States Navy employs a way to communicate to loved ones, and that is via a one-way message system called FamilyGram.
That's nice. That's nice.
Couldn't believe when I read
No,
that.
that's beautiful. I don't know why you're laughing at
We
that.
need
That's
to give
gorgeous.
it a catchy title. Why do we need to give it a title at all? We got to.
It's got to be snappy.
It's all marketing. They got a PR firm in, spent $3 million.
Yeah, came up with family.
And then they
FamilyGram.
just went with the Admiral's choice anyway.
Should have gone Famgram.
Famgram.
Get
That
on
would have been
Famgram.
better.
That's good.
That's better. Sorry.
Where does, because it's playing on Instagram, right? But what's the gram from that? Instant gram?
It's from Telegram.
Telegram, thank you. And
I think
Telegram,
this
why
is
is it?
pre-Instagram.
Right. Why is Instagram photos? You know what I mean?
Because it's instant
Yeah.
gramification.
Oh, okay. Now I get
Yeah.
it.
Do you get it?
Yeah. So, and that inspired. When is this happening? I didn't know Instagram was that old. When did this happen?
This has been happening for decades.
Yeah, right. So Instagram probably started as is it one of those things like Netflix was originally a DVD
Yeah.
coming out
Yes,
streaming?
yeah.
It's like Instagram was initially a
submarine messaging system for
Yeah.
family.
Oh, wow. It's really
They've
changed.
expanded it.
Good for them.
yeah.
Back in the day, you would just send a message, you describe a photo. All right, this one's at Christmas.
Yeah.
This one's a Christmas.
This one.
It's a dog in front of a Christmas tree. He's wearing a bow tie.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And you'd like that or not.
And I do like it.
And how would you like it or
Because
not?
that is a...
You write back like
Right.
or comment.
It's one way. It's one way.
It is one way. So, because submarines normally maintain radio silence to avoid detection, personal messages from the quote-unquote outside world are severely restricted. Familygrams were originally limited to just 15 words.
Man, so it was
Easy.
Twitter.
Yeah.
It's more Twitter than
Twitter
Instagram.
started
Yeah.
this, which was submitted to the Navy by family members who then the Navy then approved the text. So they read it through, made sure there's no...
Dad good. Mum good. Grandma not so good. Send money. That's 10. That's
Wow,
fine.
you can save
You
up
get
5 for
a
next
lot
week.
in there.
And I'm telling you, Grandma's not doing so good.
No, we need that money.
Apparently, so they read it all and there's stuff you you can't send messages with bad news like grandma is sick.
What? I didn't
Because-
say grandma's sick. I said she's not so good.
Not good. But like they read it through and make sure you can't have like news of people passing or things like that because obviously there's no nuance in the 15 words, but also the person on board, they're away for several more months and they might take the news very badly being so isolated and trapped.
Yeah, better for everyone to think anyone I know could be dead now. Just non-stop going, as far as I know, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Or the message just says, the following people are not dead.
Yeah.
And each week it just changes. It's a new 9 people.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. Cross them off the list.
Yeah, it's just Schrodinger's dead family, isn't it? They're both dead and alive
Dead
all at once.
famgram.
Yeah.
Dead famgram.
So the text was then radioed to the sub and passed on to the intended recipient. Currently, the Royal Navy permits twice weekly messages of 60 words or weekly messages of 120 words, if you want a longer one, to submariners serving in Trident submarines.
Wow.
So, yeah, you can...
120 words.
But, yeah, the person on board can't reply.
Yeah.
So it is very much one way. How are you? Oh, what a waste of words. I can't even hear your response. Oh, my gosh. How do I make this stop? Where's the backspace? Oh, shit. Sorry. Oh,
I'll try again next week.
oh, no, I'm burning the eggs. Hang on a second. Wait here. Wait. Oh, they're ruined. Oh, what are we going to do? Oh, that's all my words. See you later.
Yeah, beautiful. Another great famgram from
Another
Mum.
great family.
Yeah, so what would you be saying to them? Like, just telling them about your gripes at work?
Yeah.
You'll never guess what Susan did.
You'll never guess what Susan wore.
Because, like...
Does that count as bad news? It was awful.
that
It
bad.
was hideous.
They redacted Susan's name so you didn't get too upset.
Yeah.
You'll never believe
She
what
wore
blank wore. Who wore what?
You know, a partner or spouse sort of venting about work and talking
Yeah,
about this
I think-
person they don't like at work, and you sit there like, yeah, wow.
Well, someone you'll
She
never
did
meet.
what? Yeah, you don't actually care, but you do get a bit invested. It would just be a great chance to just be venting about Susan. She did it again. Love it.
Yeah. We started watching this new great show on Stan. This is the plot line. Takes up the whole message.
I'll do it weekly. I'll give you weekly recaps of each episode. I need more words.
60 words a week finding out what happened on The Sopranos.
It's just spoilers. They're on the ship like, I really wanted to watch that eventually.
This sucks.
I know I hadn't got around to it, but I was going to watch it. Now you've spoiled The Sopranos for me.
They don't have a cinema room? They got a plunge pool?
You got a
Yeah.
punch pull, yeah. You got to watch something.
Surely
while
they've
you're in
got fast Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I imagine.
fast Wi-Fi.
They'd be much closer to the internet cables on the bottom of the ocean than anyone
They're
else.
right there.
They're right there.
They could just plug in. That's like it. So gram comes from grammar, the Greek word, meaning something written. So that's what...
And Telegram comes from that.
Telegram comes from that, and Instagram does come from Telegram, so it doesn't really make any sense.
So
it's like instant something written, but it's a photo.
So the Greeks are rolling around in their graves.
Yeah, they're furious. They're fuming.
Sorry,
And so they should be.
Socrates.
Yeah.
So finally, before we get to the main story today, I just found this interesting. Even when away during the Second World War, according to the National Museum of American History, wives and husbands found occasions to celebrate when the submarine was away. Halfway night was celebrated simultaneously, or at least as close to the same time as guesswork would allow, aboard the subs and among wives at home at the midpoint between departure and the return of the submarine. So you'd have a little party, have a couple of drinks, knowing that they're also having a couple of drinks, and it'd be a way to feel like you're both celebrating together.
That's interesting. As long as you'd want to really believe it, I'd be like, are they really?
Are they really doing it?
Are they really doing it?
As you're cheersing the person you're having an affair with.
Yeah.
Another 6 months of this, babe. This is good stuff. And when the submarines returned from war, it was often a pretty joyous homecoming as they were reunited with loved ones. Again, from the National Museum, the submarines' return often included fundraising activities such as raffling off a first kiss, which I was like, okay.
Okay.
The winner went to the head of the waiting line. She would be the first to kiss her husband on return. It's not like you get to kiss the captain or something, which is what I thought it was.
Or there was one guy on the boat who'd never been kissed, and you get to be his first kiss. But it's just that you get to kiss your husband first. Who cares?
Yeah, what is that? Yeah.
And everyone else is
I want to kiss before everybody else has kissed.
and you're like, no, wait, I haven't kissed him yet. Wait.
That's psychotic.
Little kiss.
Yeah. And then you're purposefully just kind of hovering in front of him just to build tension for everybody else who's
draw
just
it out.
desperate to kiss their husband.
We haven't kissed yet. We haven't kissed.
Haven't kissed. You can't kiss till we kiss. And guess what? We're going home. No
that's
kissing.
it. Cock
No
block you
kissing.
forever.
We don't even like to kiss.
And we'll know if you kiss. We'll know.
I'll know.
I'm watching.
I've got lip herpes now. I'll tell you about it later, Kevin.
No one's desperate to kiss Kevin.
Yeah. Mrs. Kevin, she's
He's
not
like-
worried about it at all.
Oh my
So
God.
it's stress.
By the time he got back, she'd just scrubbed the smell out of the house. He's back. Smelly K.
It's been a year scrubbing. Fucking Kevin.
Kevin. Ugh.
One of the rooms we had to knock down.
I can't believe you spent 6 months underwater and you smell worse than when you left. Unbelievable, Kevin.
That's like having a cat who's marked their territory here. We just can't scrub it out.
Come on. We've got to hose you down before I let you in the house.
As we do every night, Kevin. You know the routine.
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin. He's a character, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit.
So those are the submarines that are used in the military, as well as submarines that are underwater craft known as submersibles. Did you know the difference?
What is the difference? Say it again.
So submersibles are underwater vehicles that need to be transported and supplied by a larger watercraft or a platform to replenish power and oxygen.
Okay, yeah.
Submarines, on the other hand, are self-supporting and capable of prolonged, independent operation at sea.
Submersibles. What's the submarines and submersibles? Is that right?
Yep.
So it's just like a little pod on a ship that you can go in and go wee, but then you have to go
You gotta
back to
come
the
back.
ship.
Yeah, because when you submerge, it's like submerge. Is that what it means? Submersible? Like submergible? It's like we can plunge it. Look, there we go. We submerge it for a bit, but now it's popped back up. You know, like you get a tennis ball in a pool and you put it
And
under,
it goes
and it goes whoop.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yes.
So you submerge, they're submergibles.
Submersibles, because they've been submersed in water.
What's the difference between submerse and submerge?
Poor.
I wonder if anyone's asked that on the internet before.
I feel like we have a weird energy today.
I don't know. I'm feeling weird.
Yeah.
Matt is feeling curious.
Oh, you've read my status.
It actually is a Cora. What is the difference between submerge and submerse? Here's the top answer. Submerge and submerse are often used interchangeably, but submerge is the more commonly used and accepted form. Both words mean to put something under water or another liquid, but submerge is a transitive verb, which means that it requires an object to complete its meaning. Submerse is an intransitive verb, which means that it does not require an object to complete its meaning. Any further questions?
No. I think that sums it up
All
pretty
right.
nicely.
Let's put a bloody end to this curiosity you've got today, mate.
Yeah, stop asking questions
Yeah,
on
shut
this
up.
podcast where we learn.
How dare you?
So, but basically, they are usually smaller.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, Jess, they zip around, but they've got to go back up to a ship or a platform
Yep, to
to
power.
repower or get oxygen.
They're
supply.
like the ocean's version of a Barina or a Suzuki Swift.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A zippy little number gets you from A to B.
Yeah, but you have to fuel it up every now and then.
Yeah.
Unlike, say, for example, a Mazda CX-3,
Yes.
which can just go and go and go and
Yeah,
go.
will never
perpetual motion machines.
That's right.
Exactly. Powered by a nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
So, a few of the examples I mentioned earlier would today, in fact, be classed as submersibles. And submersibles can be remotely operated or others are crewed. So, some of them are being controlled from the platform, and other
Yep.
times they send people down in them.
Like that little thing they send down to look at the Titanic.
That is a submersible.
See? I listen.
Ah. Wait,
Exactly.
the one that James Cameron was in, or the one that didn't go so well?
They're both submersibles.
Oh my god.
And they have achieved some amazing things, as submersibles are able to dive much deeper than larger submarines. In 1960, the Trieste became the first crewed vessel to reach the bottom of the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in Earth's seabed.
Whoa.
The vessel was piloted by legendary Swiss oceanographer Jacques Piccard and US Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh. They reached the depth of approximately 10,916 meters.
Wouldn't that make your head feel funny?
Yeah, or 35,814 feet.
Wow.
Can't get my head around that.
No.
That's wild.
It's so deep. So that's 1960. They were the last people to descend to Challenger Deep until 2012 when one man went solo, and Matt has just named that man Terminator, Titanic, Avatar creator, James Cameron.
Is that who you're talking about today?
No.
No.
No, that's not the man.
No, we'll not mention him again.
Actually,
You made that sound and Matt has. You felt like you were building it up
no,
to me
but I
there.
actually was going to say any guesses on who the next person was because I thought it was amazing that it's like, fame.
Yeah.
The first guy to do it in over 50 years
Right.
is James Cameron.
Yeah, that is funny,
Wow.
isn't it?
Yeah. And
What-
then
I'm sure I've heard of Jacques Picard as
Yeah.
well. Is he who the Star Trek guy's named after?
Luke Picard, probably.
You are curious today. Good status update. Feeling curious.
It's funny that you say, is that who we're talking about today? Because my next sentence was, but the submersible I mainly want to talk about today is the Pisces 3.
Ooh.
We obviously have...
That's the fish sign.
Yes.
We haven't...
And you're not here to fuck fish.
No, certainly not.
That's true. Pisces class submersibles are 3-person research deep submergence vehicles designed and built by Hyco International Hydrodynamics of North Vancouver.
That's in Canada.
Yeah.
Yes. They have a maximum operating depth of 2,000 metres, or 6,500 feet. The Pisces 3 I'm going to talk about today measured 20 feet or 6 metres long, by 7 feet or 2 metres wide, by 11 feet 3 metres high. So it's not very big, and for the occupants of the Pisces, you find yourself inside a 6-foot diameter steel ball, and you lie down and look out 2 tiny windows at the front of the craft. So it's very cramped, very small.
And you're lying down.
Yep.
Okay.
How long would people be in there for?
Usually for what one shift of these people are going to do is about an 8-hour shift.
Wow.
Lying down for 8 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't do that ever.
On Wednesday, the 29th of August, 1973, just a few days after Jess's birthday, at 1:15 a.m.
It's the day after yours.
Yeah, but you were thinking about your birthday.
I was.
Yeah. At about 1:15 a.m., 2 British men, both named Roger. Very confusing for the radio.
Morning, Roger. Roger.
Roger that, Roger. Sorry, what? They found themselves inside the Pisces 3. The 2 men were 28-year-old former Royal Navy submariner Roger Chapman, who sadly had been invalided out of the Royal Navy due to becoming short-sighted. No longer be in the Navy. He was the pilot. His crewmate was 35-year-old engineer Roger Mallinson, who was the senior pilot on board. Mm-hmm. Both very experienced guys, Roger and Roger. The 2 men were off the coast of Ireland, 150 miles southwest of Cork, working for the post office, laying transatlantic telephone cables on the seabed. It took the men 40 minutes to sink down or descend about 500 metres or 1,600 feet, and it was about the same time to get back up. They'd work
It's quite a commute.
It's quite the commute.
Yeah. It's not bad. I mean, other people have worse commutes, but it's, it's not a great commute.
Yeah.
That's why you're on the radio, Jess. Keeping them company.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a 3rd person on board who was the on-air announcer.
Yeah.
What was their name?
Roger. He's got a different tape.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty good tape.
They should just listen to our podcast.
Oh, shit. Yeah, had they thought of that?
Yeah. Can you send this over to them?
The Submariners, are they able to listen to the podcast? Our podcast on the submarine?
Whoa.
Let us know if you're listening to this on a submarine right now. Hopefully, this story doesn't freak you out. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Back to the story.
I'm sure people don't, like, submariners aren't easily freaked out. You know what I mean?
You'd hope not.
I
Let's
think-
find out.
I think they've heard the stories.
Yeah, for
That's
sure. You're
nothing to
right.
them.
Yeah, this is nothing. This is nothing. So they'd work for 8-hour shifts, travelling slowly across the seabed at half a mile per hour, setting up pumps and jets, which liquefied the mud. Then they'd lay the cable and make sure it was covered up. It does sound like they're taking a shit. Very slow work.
That's what Kevin would be doing.
Constantly.
He's like, oh, you need me to lay some cable? Can do. Not like that,
He
Kevin.
honestly needs to get checked. He's a medical marvel.
Who hired him? His dad runs the place, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Admiral Daddy. Fucking hell, Kevin.
There's very slow work on the bottom, and it required a lot of concentration through there's tiny windows in murky conditions. It's been described as like driving down the motorway in thick fog and trying to follow a white line in the middle.
Oof.
And it was uncomfortable too. It was so cramped they'd have to kneel or lie, sometimes with their heads by their knees. That's how closely they'd have to sort of look out these windows. One pilot would have the controls for the sub in one hand, and in the other, they'd have the manipulator, which is a mechanical hand, which would lift, twist, extend, and move sideways. Then they'd swap, so you do it for a bit,
Wow.
on and off.
That sounds awful, to be perfectly honest
It's a
with
really
you.
tough gig.
Yeah.
And a previous dive had damaged the manipulator, so senior pilot Roger Mallinson had stayed up the previous night fixing it. The engineer knew the machine inside out as he'd rebuilt it when it was shipped over from Canada, but because of these repairs, he'd pulled an all-nighter, and by 1:15 a.m., he'd been awake for 26 hours.
Ugh.
And he was going down for an 8-hour shift of pure concentration.
No.
That doesn't sound like that's a recipe for success.
It doesn't sound safe, does it?
Nah.
Surely, just take the day off, Roger. Can they not do that?
Get the third Roger, DJ Roger,
Yeah.
to step
he
up.
could sub in.
Sub in.
Got one of those two words right.
He could sub him. He could.
Let him sub him.
He could sub him.
Let him sub him.
Well, yeah, that's what I was meant. Sub him. He could sub in. He could sub in and sub him.
Yeah, sub him. Who? Roger. I'll
Yeah.
sub him.
Yeah.
I'll sub
You
in for Roger.
For Roger? Yeah, I'll sub him.
There it is.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Weird energy.
Yeah.
Feels like we're underwater in a submarine.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I'm feeling a bit silly.
Do you
Yeah.
reckon there's a podcast studio? If they've got a pool.
Yeah.
How hard would it be? Just put a studio in.
That's how submersive Dave's storytelling is? That it feels like we're under the water right
I
now.
wonder how big this room is. I wonder if this is the size of a Pisces.
Oh, this is, I think the whole thing, but the bit there is much smaller.
Hmm.
I think they're like in the size of the little table we've got here.
Nah, that sucks. Absolutely not.
It's very close. Engineer Mallinson had also decided in his repairs to swap over the oxygen tank.
I subbed it.
He subbed in a new oxygen tank. And it's unclear as to why he decided to do this, as the half-full tank was more than enough for their shift. But he swapped it over, despite it being very heavy and the fact he could get in trouble for swapping it unnecessarily. But he swapped it, and that is important.
Okay. So on a previously on, that would be...
Yeah, you'd see him
see
screwing
that.
it in, going, oh, this fucking thing.
Yeah, and you'd see somebody else say, it has half a tank, that should be plenty. Yeah, and he says, no, I'm going to swap the tank. And you go, oh, okay.
Exactly.
This is telling me everything I need to know.
The Pisces 3 was fitted with a life support system which consisted of a lithium hydroxide fan to soak up the carbon dioxide they breathed out, and then fed in a small quantity of oxygen. They turn this on every 40 minutes to scrub the air. Now, the way most submarines and submersibles work, Jess, now you know, now you will know,
Yes.
is they have ballast tanks that control its buoyancy.
Ah, yes.
These tanks can be filled. I've got a definition for you here.
Looking at Matt like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
fuck
Ballast tank.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, you say no more.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he
Do you think I'm
talking
going to explain it?
about?
Jesus
Yeah, of
fucking
course you are. Of
Christ.
course you are, because you've done a
No,
podcast with me for 9 years.
Do you need to? I think we
Yeah,
got
okay,
it.
I'll move on. Sorry. People don't like being patronised too, especially
Yeah.
you, Jess.
I hate to be patronised
Ballasts
too.
are like ballistic missiles. That's
Yeah.
all related
Yeah, that's
stuff.
perfect.
Yeah, we get
A
it.
We get
tank
it.
full of missiles.
Yeah, ballist.
Roger that.
People say, how do submarines work? A tank full of missiles. Do I need to say any more?
We get it. They've gone ballistic. We got it.
I
Next.
get it. Easy.
What
Easy
else you got?
peasy.
No, ballast tanks, for people unlike you two who don't necessarily know that, they can be filled with water or filled with air. Oregon State University, people much smarter than me, describe how they work. When the submarine is on the surface, the ballast tanks are filled with air. This makes the submarine's density less than the density of the water. When the submarine dives, water is pumped into the ballast tanks to replace the air. This makes the density of the submarine greater than the density of the water, and they sink. Tanks of compressed air are kept on the submarine, and when the crew need to go back to the surface, they pump air into the ballast tanks to force out the water, and then it floats to the top. That's kind of how it works.
I got to tell you, I drifted off a bit there.
Yeah. I still don't get it.
If the tank's got water in it, you'll sink.
Yep.
Yes.
But if you pump air into it, you'll start floating again.
Yes.
And the more air you got in there, the more you float. So if you want to go up to the air, you want to go to the surface, you pump it full of air.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
now that helps.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
It's like a tennis ball.
Yeah, you can hold it down, but once you let it go,
There you go.
it goes
It's full
bloop.
of air. Yeah.
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 But if it was full of water, that thing would sink to the bottom like...
Yeah. Like a
Like
tennis
a ball full of water.
Exactly. You get it.
Yeah.
A
Thank you
waterlogged
for...
ball.
Thank you for
And
showing
no
your
one wants to
working.
kick around anymore. You know
That saying? Is that another Stewart
that's
family
a,
saying?
it's a you or my lyric. I'm like a waterlogged ball that no one wants to kick around anymore.
God, he's done it again.
That's
Almost
nice.
rhymed.
Tim Rogers. Rogers.
The fourth Roger was Tim.
Whoa. Tim does a lot of radio.
He does.
Oh my God. We've cracked this wide open.
So at 9:18 a.m., Roger and Roger had finished their shift and were back on the surface. So they'd gone all the way back up, waiting for the tow ropes from the larger ship to be attached to them. Basically, they're going to be reeled back in to the mothership. It's already been a long night of work. They're almost free. One of them's been up for 34 hours at this point.
That's insane.
Time for bed. You're thinking, we're home free.
I hope he's got tomorrow off. You know?
Surely it's one
Catch
full
up.
day and then one day off. Surely.
Surely. That's how we work. And you can hear how
You do-
well that works.
Exactly. One full day of recording,
Yes,
6 full days off.
that's right.
It's the perfect system.
It's the only way.
And that way we start fresh.
Takes 6 days to replenish our tanks.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, that's the system. That's how it works.
And we come back in and there's never a weird energy. We're always ready to go.
Yeah.
We're always raring.
Occasionally, we'll get someone to sub him. But now that Dave has been found alive and fine, we don't really have to do that so much anymore.
No more. Sub him in.
Should we start again? Should we do this one from the top?
Let's go get coffee. Let's start again.
Yeah.
I think we'll go, we've wasted an hour, but I think it'll be for the best.
I think it's not a waste. I think we got it out of our system.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to say the word sometimes.
Yeah.
I've had a good night's sleep. I've had breakfast, had a cup of tea.
I think maybe that's the problem.
Never eat again. Never sleep again.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
I think you're best with an empty tank.
Right. I did get in there an hour and a half earlier. So
Wow.
that was probably a mistake. And I've been online to a tech troubleshooting. Maybe that's why. They drained my energy, drained my tank.
Yeah. I have no excuse.
So they're on the surface. They're about to go to bed. In their mind, I imagine I'm checking out, thinking about, what are you going to do back up there?
100%, yeah.
Have a shower, have a sleep. Fantastic.
I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat.
When you say on the surface, they're just sort of floating in the middle of the ocean?
floating on the top.
They're bobbing.
And they're being attached to the bigger ship with a rope, and they're going to be reeled back in so they can climb up a ladder and go to bed.
Right.
There's lots of banging of ropes and shackles, which was to be expected during the last phase of the recovery, when suddenly
Oh, no.
the Rogers were hurtled backwards and sank rapidly.
What?
What?
Oh, my God. Poseidon.
Oh.
Poseidon has them.
Is that the ocean god?
Yeah.
He's sort of like the fake version of King Trident.
Yeah.
Poseidon's based on King Trident
Yeah,
from the
okay.
Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
They found their craft dangling upside down in the water. The aft sphere, AFD, the aft sphere, which is a smaller, usually watertight sphere where the machinery was located, had flooded when the hatch was accidentally pulled off by one of the ropes.
Oh, no.
In a matter of moments, the sub was over a ton heavier, like when the ballast tanks on a submarine are full, and suddenly they found themselves rapidly sinking.
Shit.
Until they were suddenly stopped by the tow rope that was still attached. So like a bungee cord, they were just yanked back.
Oh.
And they're sort of dangling in the water inside the sub.
So one rope got on.
Yeah, but the other accidentally opened the bit that's not meant to open in the water.
Shit.
The Pisces was dangling and spinning around in the current. The motors were screaming, the pressure gauges spinning around. It was total mayhem on board. And it only got worse when the rope snapped.
Oh my
No.
So that would be unpleasant, I imagine.
Extremely, yeah. And very, you'd be freaking out on that.
Yeah, you'd be, I'd say, discombobulated. Do you reckon?
I think so.
Don't fucking overreact, mate. You're over there fucking discombobulating.
All right, mate.
And I'm just going, gee whiz, bloody hell. That's a bit full on, isn't it? But I'm cool and calm.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to put myself in Roger's
Unbelievable.
shoes. Which one? You tell me.
Roger 1, Roger 2,
Or Tim.
Roger 4.
Roger 4. Obviously, Roger 3 is just Bob Rogers Perkins.
That's right. Bob
The
Rogers.
DJ.
Bob Rogers.
That's
Bob
good.
Rogers, very
rules.
good.
That
Yeah.
is a good
Bob Rogers.
performance. Like,
That rules.
Yeah, that's way better than Roger Perkins.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is also fine.
No, it's
Fine,
not.
but
Roger
once you-
Perkins sucks.
but once you hear Bob Rogers,
Bob Rogers.
Bob Rogers
Holy
is like
shit.
He's like a cowboy singing star.
Yeah. Like, that's an icon.
Yeah, Bob Rogers.
Bob Rogers. Whoa.
Whoa.
That's cool.
You can see him moseying into town.
Yep.
playing a little tune on the old 6-string. I say he or she
That's awesome.
because it's you.
Yeah. But I can be whatever I want to be. That's the thing.
Well, I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah, no, we're agreeing.
I can't control my tone.
Okay, so they're now the rope is broken. Well, one of them's discombobulated over there.
And the other one's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Whew,
They
settle
started
down.
sinking again all the way to the bottom in total freefall. The men shut down the electrical systems and switched everything off so it was pitch black as they sunk. They managed to drop a 400-pound or 181-kilo lead weight to make the Pisces lighter during their descent. So, dull the impact a bit. The Rogers had only 30 seconds before they hit the ocean floor. Remember, a controlled descent takes 40 minutes.
Wow.
And they've done it in 30 seconds. They are flying.
Flying through the water.
So it's in the full of water state. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. Because there's so much water in the back bit where the water's not meant to be. They're really heavy.
Right.
So they're just sinking
really quick.
like a stone straight to the bottom.
Wow.
And usually, you've got the engine, you sort of slowly get down there, get to the bottom. So
And like when you've taken on water on a ship, you're scooping it out. But you can't do that under the water.
you can't do anything. No, you can't. Everything's water.
They can't release a valve.
So in that time, they've only got 30 seconds to brace for impact. They grab some cushions and just sort of hope for the best.
Oh, good they've got cushions.
That's great. Oh, yeah, they probably went to the cushion room. It's all bean bags and cushions.
It's so nice in there.
It's lovely. It's just a
Roger.
chill out zone.
Yeah.
Quick, grab some cushions. Do you want a yellow one?
It's pitch black.
Should
Which
Should I
one?
turn on
I can't
the
see.
lava lamp?
Get back here, Roger.
I can't tell. I'm trying to find your favourite and I can't tell which one
Where
it
is
is.
it? Oh, I don't want to use your one. Oh.
I don't want to use Kevin's.
One's discombobulated and one is too calm.
Now, let me see. Which cushion would I
Should
like?
I put the kettle on?
Yeah.
Do we have a cuppa?
I always think better after a cuppa.
Whenever we're in the cushion room, you know I have to have a cuppa.
You know what I'm like.
And the idea that he's grabbing a cushion rather than just diving into the cushion room.
Yeah. There are already cushions in here.
I'll just grab a couple. Just not
Yes, do
overkill.
whatever you need. Just get in.
Get in the cushion room.
Yeah, you have to walk through the shard room to get here. You don't want to be in there when it all goes down.
Oh, look at that shard. I've never noticed that one before.
Why do we have a shard room? It seemed to make sense before. Now it seems ridiculous. 30 seconds.
They hit the bottom at about 40 miles or 65 kilometers an hour.
Shit.
Are they buckled in? Or is it... Because, that's...
I actually don't know if because the way they usually sit, I don't know if you can be...
Right. And would that be... Yeah.
If you can be seat
That's-
belted in. 65
k's an hour hitting the bottom. Yeah, no, that's not going to be good.
That's bad. Thankfully, they were both uninjured.
What?
Is it because, it's sand? And it, maybe it can soften and... I don't know. I should say I'm not a scientist.
Oh, okay, that changes everything.
But if it's not hard packed sand, maybe it would...
And I know it may be because the craft is so strong, because it has to be very thick metal to not be crushed by the water. Like, if you drove around in a car and, every side was 10 centimeters thick.
Mm.
yeah.
That obviously, you'd still get a bit of whiplash and stuff. But your car wouldn't crumple. It would probably just be a lot stronger.
Yeah.
But if you're not buckled in, you'd be getting injured.
Yeah.
But that's where the pillows come in handy.
Oh, they're in the pillow room.
You should do it.
So Roger 1 got into the pillow room.
Just in time.
Thank God. Luckily, Roger 2 was discombobulated enough to hurry him up.
Yeah.
See, sometimes you need a panicker.
That's
you
right.
need someone.
Sometimes panicking helps.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a bit of high stress.
Yeah.
So they're both uninjured. There was stuff thrown everywhere throughout the craft. Pillows and shards. The craft itself was almost upside down and they had to grab onto pipes to physically move around to sort of yank themselves off the floor. The power was still off. All they had for light was a torch. They went through and made sure there were no leaks throughout and they were able to make contact with the ship above via a telephone radio and let them know that they were okay.
Shit, how are they going to find them? Magnets.
Oh.
That's my guess.
A little fishing magnet game.
Yeah.
Are the Rogers magnetic?
Yeah.
Yeah, the chemistry is magnetic down there. One's a panicker, one's not. Like there's the straight man.
It's going to be
Absolutely.
classic
Negative,
enemies to
yeah.
lovers.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, we're so different. But, oh, wait, it turns out we actually have a few things in
And
common.
then when magnets I'm picturing U-shaped magnets. So the Rogers are but then they have to switch, right? So they're basically 69 each other.
Yeah, that's right.
So I guess that's what the Rogers will be doing before time, rogering each other.
That's
oh my
right.
god!
Oh my god! Is that where it comes from?
Is that where it comes from?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh my god!
We found the source of the rogering.
The rogering source. That comes later. Oh, just didn't like that bit.
I didn't get it.
Oh, I'm talking about cum.
I would have thought rogering sauce would be lube.
Oh, that's your pre-cum.
A self-sourcing Roger.
Oh, God.
Fortunately, Roger Mallinson, remember, had added the full oxygen tank on board that already used 8 hours worth, leaving about 66 hours or until early Saturday morning. If he hadn't made that switch, which he really had no reason to do, they'd be looking at less than 30 hours.
Oh, I thought it was going to... I'm so glad.
Explode.
I thought it was going to come in because he was like, he somehow sabotaged or like it turned out he was Russian.
Yeah, I was hoping...
like an evil Russian man. I'm not saying all Russian people are bad. But who's this guy for? Which team's he on?
The post office.
The post office.
He's laying cable for the post office.
Okay. In my head, this has all been some... Yeah, I forgot what he was... Wait, he wasn't laying military cable? So the Russian post office...
Yeah.
American post office?
I think the British post office.
British post office. So probably the French then. Not a Russian, it's a French.
It's a French.
It's a Frenchman.
I was hoping by saying that this is important that you might think, oh, what's that mean?
I
But
thought-
yes, it's important for surviving underneath the water for a longer time.
Awesome.
But I bet they don't have a kitchen down there. Probably get a bit hungry.
We fell right into Dave's web there. But remember this, Dave, we're not here to fuck spiders.
So the two men were very experienced and they knew how to eke out as much oxygen as possible. Like you're saying, the submarine listening isn't freaking out because they know what to do. These guys, they know what to do. So they decided to stop moving and sit perfectly still, not even speaking, to conserve precious oxygen. And they sat as high as possible with the heavy, quote-unquote, foul air falling to the bottom.
Kevin Air. I'll never fly Kevin Air again.
It was very cheap for a reason. They just served boiled eggs. It was awful.
The lunch service kept coming out.
Oh,
We've
stop.
had enough.
We've had enough
We've
eggs.
had enough eggs.
Stop.
But Kevin he was serving as well as flying. He did everything and he kept saying the eggs are better in than out.
And he kept saying, if you won't have your egg, can I have yours? Can I have yours? Are you finished with that?
You done with that? You done with that?
I've never seen a steward do that.
Who's flying the plane, Kevin? Kevin Air. Kevin Air. They were very cheap flights.
They were cheap for a reason. It fucking reeked up there.
It was awful. It was pure foul air. Top to bottom.
It was just foul. That's fun.
Oh, it hurts.
So they're on board, sitting in the dark, in silence.
To conserve
As high-
oxygen.
conserving
Are we
oxygen.
using a lot of oxygen right now? There?
We, some would say, are a waste of oxygen.
I've had that said. An oxygen thief, I've been called. Now I think I understand.
Do you get it now?
And funnily enough, it was my father calling me that.
Brutal. You're trapped underwater and he's like, Jess, please stop breathing for the good of me.
Yeah.
For the good of mankind.
I need to live.
So speaking does use more oxygen. That's why they know they stop speaking and just taking small breaths.
Small breaths, trying to be calm.
Right. Let's see. Easy
Trying
for
to relax.
Roger 1.
Yeah. Roger 2's freaking out.
He's using all the oxygen.
Taking deep breaths. Yeah, that's interesting. So they know, they just, it sounds like both of them are just
Pros.
pros.
Absolutely. So they know if there's any chance of us being rescued, it could take a long time. We don't have a very long time. So let's just make it as, as likely as possible that we get out of this. And this is quite nice. They squeezed each other's hands to indicate they were okay
Oh,
in the dark and silence.
That's cute.
It was also freezing cold.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay.
So
Fair enough.
down the bottom, no heating.
Oh, they're going to have to get naked.
It's the only way.
Jess, that's your solution to everything.
Yeah, just said that. You were saying that when we were just doing our normal work day.
We're going to have to get naked, boys.
It's a bit hot today. Oh.
Guess we better get naked. It's a bit cold today. Well, we'd better get naked.
Well, I could just turn the heater up. No.
No. Up.
So they've got this system of squeezing each other's hands to let them know they're all right, but they haven't spoken. So one of them's just assuming that he'll know what this means.
Yeah.
Squeeze.
Yeah. Means,
I'm okay.
yeah.
And the other one's like, I love you.
Yeah. Squeeze.
Yeah, squeezing the shit. And to make conditions worse, probably for both men, Roger Mallinson was recovering from food poisoning,
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
which I'm sorry to report was from eating a quote-unquote horrible meat and potato pie.
Oh, not a
Dave.
pie.
No.
I'm so sorry
You
for you to
never
have
would
to
have
read that.
expected
No.
it'd be the pie.
It could,
What a twist.
surely it wasn't the pie.
When has a pie ever hurt you?
I've never had food poisoning from a pie.
Fish tacos, on the other
Yes,
hand.
exactly.
That'll do it. But a meat and potato pie.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's interesting. But the meat must have been bad.
Yeah, not the potato,
Not
surely.
the potato.
Potatoes have never hurt me.
So, is he also the guy who hasn't been sleeping?
Yes.
Oh, God.
He's
He's
in a rough trough.
He's having an awful time.
He's having a bad time.
He really just needed to go to bed.
Mm.
Sleep it off.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what he can do here.
Yeah, have a little nap.
Why doesn't he just nap?
Have a kip.
Apparently they did take it in turns to have a little sleep, but one had to be awake at all times.
In case, those weird fish from down below came to get him. They're like standing there, keeping watch with a gun.
Okay, I'll take the first watch.
What if one of those lamplight-headed fish comes through here? Blow the light right off its fucking head.
Shooting holes in the
Yeah. Don't worry, I got this, Roger.
I'll save us.
And it's like, we could have used that light. That was actually quite handy. Meanwhile, on the surface, they were racing to get a rescue plan together, and the challenge they faced was immense. It's been said that humans know more about the moon than the bottom of the ocean, and the deeper you go, the more mysterious and harder a rescue is to pull off.
We can see the moon.
True.
We can't see the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why I don't trust it down there.
I can't see you. Where are
But
you?
I can see the moon.
Show yourself, coward.
Yeah.
Has man walked on that deepest part in the trench? The Marinara
No,
Trench?
it's certainly not deep. It's too deep.
Right.
You'd be crushed.
But we've walked on the moon,
Yeah.
allegedly.
There you
Yes.
So,
go. Allegedly. Okay, hang on.
yeah, it definitely wasn't on a soundstage, that's for sure.
Wait, just to qualify what you're saying there, you're sounding sarcastic. Are you meaning that sarcastically?
Yes.
Oh.
No? Whatever answer you want it to be.
Just double checking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe man walked on the moon or it was faked on a soundstage?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's actually a
Clear
relief.
that up.
Thank you.
Very inquisitive today, this guy.
God, he's curious today.
Yeah.
Wow, he's feeling curious. And I'm feeling
curious.
gassy.
Kevin?
Yeah.
It's time we
Kevin was
probably let
based on
everyone
me.
know.
We have used an alias to protect certain members of the podcast.
I am Kevin.
Just to give you a scale as to how deep the Rogers were, the maximum depth for recreational scuba diving, 130 feet. At 656 feet, you enter what is known as the dysphotic or spookily named Twilight Zone.
Ugh.
There is only a tiny amount of light, enough for visual predators to see. Down here, you've got octopus, sperm whale. The world's deepest scuba dive ever was recorded at 1,090 feet,
Wow.
completed by Ahmed Gabir in 2014 in Egypt. Wow. So, like most people, 130 feet is as deep as you go. So
Yeah.
this guy, Ahmed, went very, very deep. But
That's
even
incredible.
then, the Rogers are much deeper than that. They're at 1,575 feet.
Wow.
So there's no possibility of them bailing out and swimming to the surface, even if they had the world's best diving equipment
Yeah,
with
they're
them,
not-
which they don't.
They're not going to.
They've got none.
They can't make it. Yep.
1,500 feet is about the height of Central Park Tower, the second tallest building in New York City and the 15th tallest building in the world. Or for a more local reference, Matt,
Thank you.
it's about twice the height of the iconic taller part of the Rialto in Melbourne.
Whoa. Wait, you don't have to say the taller part, just that's the Rialto.
But there's two bits.
Yeah, I know. Of course.
But so it's the tall bit.
The tall bit, which is
you don't go, well, yeah, every building has lower bits. Oh, it's as high as the Trump Tower, 3rd level.
It's as high as the lobby of the Empire State Building.
I'm actually as tall as the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, about 1/4 of the way up the lobby.
Yeah.
I'm as tall as that.
I'm as tall as the front desk.
It's a very tall desk.
It's a tall desk.
It's a standing desk, and a 7-foot man works behind it.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually hard to communicate with him. Hello? I need some brochures for skydiving.
But I appreciate you bringing up the Rialto.
Double the Rialto?
So Rialto is 823 feet.
Whoa.
They're 1,575 feet.
Oh, the jewel in Melbourne sky.
But think about that.
One.
That's crazy.
Twice that, but then underwater.
Rialto.
No, I hate that. No.
So it's all hands on deck on the surface. According to the BBC, which has a great 2013 article by Vanessa Barford that I will, of course, link to in the show notes, a support ship called Vickers Venturer was in the North Sea with sister submersible Pisces 2 on board. It was ordered to return to port as soon as possible so the Pisces 2 could be flown over to aid in the rescue.
Yeah, wow.
Was that some sort of a nun, sister submersible?
Was that some sort of a nun?
Sister submersible.
Thank goodness you're here. You are
Sister
obviously-
Mary Submersible.
You're an expert on all things nautical. Sister Submersible, be a dear and help in the rescue. You've heard of the flying nun. We've got the diving nun. Sister Submersible.
That's good stuff.
Be a dear.
The Royal Navy's HMS Hecate was sent to the scene with special ropes at 12:09, and the RAF Nimrod aircraft flew overhead. A US Navy submersible called the Curve 3, designed to pick up bombs from the seafloor, was also sent over from California. So basically, anything that has any chance of rescuing them is heading to where they are. Back on the sub, meanwhile, as the men sat in the dark, they stayed alive by rationing the air supply. They allowed the CO2 to build up a bit more.
I wish I knew a song by Air Supply. I could have.
It's not enough. So don't.
Oh, that's enough. We've got to ration it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for helping me build that joke.
That's very funny. Can you think of another one?
Is that, I don't know, is that them? That sounds like probably an Air Supply song. Some of Australia's finest, right?
Is that Australian?
Yeah, isn't that wild?
I didn't know that. Air Supply.
Wow, these people are very lonely. Air Supply, some of their songs are Here I Am, Lonely as the Night, Goodbye, Every Woman in the World, All Out of Love, and
Yes,
All
that's
Out
the
of
big one.
Love.
and Lost in Love. These people have not had a good chance time with love.
Oh, what I sang was 10cc. Which wasn't even right anyway.
Oh, whoa, we've got to ration the 10cc.
And they're Russell Hitchcock and Graham Russell.
What? No!
2 Russells, 2 Rogers.
Whoa.
I've got to ration the Russell sauce.
Huge.
So they allowed the CO2 to build up a bit to conserve oxygen, keeping track of how long it had been between air scrubs with egg timers. And like I said earlier, they usually would filter the air every 40 minutes, but they waited longer to make the oxygen last a bit longer.
Using egg timers as well.
Kevin.
Kevin Air. Sounds like debonair.
Oh,
But it's not.
But it's not. Couldn't be any further from it.
Kevin Air, the world's least debonair airline. So because the CO2 is building up more than usual, this made them feel drowsy and lethargic, but they made sure one person was awake at all times. And their other supplies were low from the beginning. The pair only had 1 cheese and chutney sandwich and 1 can of lemonade between them.
Cheese and chutney doesn't sound ideal either, does it?
Roger's already had an upset stomach.
He doesn't need a cheese and chutney.
And they decided they didn't want to consume them too early. Mm-hmm. So they sat back. In the dark, they thought about their families back home. Chapman had just gotten married to his wife, June. Meanwhile, Roger Mallinson had 4 young kids and a wife at home, so they were sort of thinking about them, trying to stay calm, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Are they, I can't remember. Yeah. So are they still able to get the one-way messages? This is a whole different thing, isn't it?
Oh, no, but they are able to communicate with
that's
up above.
great. But they also probably aren't because they're trying to not talk.
Yeah. Roger, are you still okay?
I'm squeezing the microphone.
So it's pretty grim down there, but the men's spirits were picked up when a message of support from Queen Elizabeth II was radioed down to them, wishing them a quick recovery.
Our Queen. That's so great.
And this offered them a much needed morale boost until they were told it was in fact a ship called the Queen Elizabeth II sending wishes and not the Queen herself.
Don't. Why? If they're going, oh my God, the Queen, and they're like, oh no. Just let them think it's the Queen.
Yeah. But also, why does that ship go, oh, well, we better send some good wishes? Shut up.
Signed off.
Help or fuck off.
The Queen.
Well, they did say they're on their way.
Okay, well.
So Queen Elizabeth II, the ship was on its way, and they were telling them, they send, Queen Elizabeth II sends best wishes. And they're like, oh my God, the Queen. And they're like, oh no, not that one.
No.
That actually makes me feel a bit better because I sent a letter to our Queen, Elizabeth II, last week and still haven't got a reply. But I'm like, oh, she's not always just sending out messages. It'll probably take a bit of time.
No, I think you've accidentally sent it to the ship.
Oh no, is that what I've done?
I think so.
Oh no, family-gram. You family-gram the ship.
Family-gram the ship.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they'll still appreciate it, but yeah, if you're expecting a reply back from Queen Lizzie, it's not going to come.
Okay.
So I would just send another letter.
I'll write one right now.
Yeah.
Well, you keep talking, Dave. I'm going to scribe a letter. Is that what you do to a letter?
Sure.
Scribe it?
Yeah, you can scribe it, you can scruffle it, you can do whatever you like to a letter. That's your time.
I'm going to scruffle. Sorry, can I have a little private time? I'm going to go scruffle a letter. If you know what I mean. No, what do you?
Not at work time, mate.
Have a quick scruffle.
When you're off the clock, we're a business. We work hard. 1 day on, 6 days off.
Exactly. Fly in, fly out podcasting.
It's hard.
I was thinking, we should unionise and see if we can get better, maybe half a day on, 12 days off.
Ooh.
That's good.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all. But more money.
Yes, we'll demand more money.
Double the money, half the work.
Yes.
Is that good?
Our pod bosses are awful people.
They're terrible. They stink.
Yeah, they stink. When we have to go in, and we're also the bosses, so we just put on different hats.
Yeah.
Got to play good cop, bad cop ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't like the look of that Dave guy.
He's scary.
Yeah, he could do anything in there.
That Jess is very sexual.
Every meeting we have, she's saying we better get naked to get to a resolution here.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, she starts every meeting by saying, is it just me or is it quite hot in here?
Yeah.
Taking off a layer. She's only wearing a bra underneath.
You know what I say? When we're in negotiations, we're not in clothes, so take them off.
Take off. And she's always doing this. Ba, ba, da, ba.
Yeah, shoulder points.
What is that?
What is that?
Stop it.
So strange.
It's powerful.
It's very powerful.
I'm
very
distracted.
intimidating.
Yeah.
Wow.
So these men are fearing for their lives.
Yes.
In the early hours of Friday morning, 48 hours after first having hit the water and 40 hours since the accident, meaning they've got 24 hours of oxygen left, the sister submersible,
Be a dear and help, would you?
she finally hit the water. The Pisces too.
A nun in a diving suit. She's still got
going in.
She's got the habit underneath.
Yeah, of course she
Can't take that off. They bathe in that. Can't take off the habit.
Sister Submersible, the Pisces 2, was launched, and a special polypropylene rope attached to a toggle or collapsible snap hook was launched. Unfortunately, the lifting rope tore from the manipulator, which is the little hand thing that it's got, because of its buoyancy, so it had to return to the mothership for repairs. Out of action almost immediately. Then the Pisces 5, which had arrived on the scene, had to go with a polypropylene line attached to a toggle. The vessel managed to make it to the seabed, but it couldn't find the Pisces 3 before it ran out of power.
Oh.
So it had to return to the surface and refuel to have a go later.
Because I guess they're not going to just drop in the exact same way.
No, and apparently they'd crashed into like a little divot in the seabed, which made it harder to find them.
Of course.
Yeah, but you got to play it as it lies.
Yeah.
So.
Or take a stroke.
Oh, yeah, take a drop.
But they didn't want to do that.
They're in a water hazard.
Yeah.
And a bunker at the same
Yeah.
time.
Double?
Yeah.
Double
I think
drop?
I think that's a double
Time
drop.
for a double drop?
Double drop, double penalty. double drop.
The Pisces 5 did have another go and finally located the stricken Pisces 3, but it had taken until 1 p.m. on Friday, which is about 12 hours until the calculated oxygen deadline. Again, they tried to attach a polypropylene line, and again it failed because of the buoyancy. It was back to the drawing board for the rescue team, but the Pisces 5 rescue sub was ordered to stay on the ocean floor with the Pisces 3, I guess to make it easier for the other rescue vehicles to find them because they've got lights and everything.
Oh, yep.
They've got power.
There's no way that they can send a bit of oxygen across.
I don't think that they can pump anything in.
Yeah, why would they have a setup for that?
Yeah.
Just in case we need to pump oxygen in from one to the other.
So after this, you'd think that that's the kind of thing they'd mention. Hey, in the future, do you reckon we just have a little valve that we just sort of plug a bit of oxygen into? Pisces 2 had another go, but had to resurface after it got water in its own sphere. In the
Oh,
aft
my
sphere.
God.
Luckily, they didn't sink to the bottom. By this time, it was 5:30 p.m., 7 to 8 hours of oxygen remained,
Shit.
and the Curve 3 that was designed to pick up bombs from the ocean arrived. It had come all the way from California, but it suffered an electrical fault, so it couldn't hit the water.
Oh,
you're
my
kidding.
God.
So they're trying so many different little
So they're cursed at the
subs, but they
moment.
can't get down there. Midnight came, and the only working rescue sub, the Pisces 5, was ordered to surface, leaving the Rogers 1,500 feet below the surface on their own.
Jeez. You'd be feeling, like hope is starting to
Yeah.
evaporate.
Their oxygen was almost up, and the lithium tube they were relying on to scrub the CO2 was also running low, and as conditions on board deteriorated, sitting silently in total darkness, the two, like you say, began to give up hope.
Oh.
Their only morale boost came from dolphins, which they could hear reverberating in the water.
Oh,
Quite a nice sound. Saturday morning came, and the men were in absolute oxygen overtime. If they'd been breathing normally, they'd already be dead, but their conservation efforts had eked out a few extra hours.
Wow.
And Pisces 2 was fixed and launched again with an especially designed toggle and another polypropylene line that they're hoping would actually work this time.
But they're still so heavy, so
Yeah,
towing them out's going to be really hard.
it's very hard. At 5 a.m., it attached its line to the Rogers in Pisces 3. A few hours later, 9:40, the other bomb disposal submersible, the Curve 3, arrived after finally being fixed. And it also attached a line to the aft sphere. The two trapped men were in the foresphere, and Roger Mallinson, who's like the engineer and expert about these things, he thought they'd made a mistake as the foresphere where they were was much stronger. He thought, why are they attaching themselves back there? They should be attaching it to here, but they did it the other way. The Rogers on board was skeptical whether the rescue would actually work, but it was sort of this now or never point,
Yeah.
and they decided to have their sandwich and can of lemonade.
they kept it that whole time.
Wow. It'd be so stale.
Gosh.
Yeah, like, I should have had this. This did not keep.
Yeah.
Should have had it fresh.
First bite. Oh, I'm not having that.
No.
Oh, bleh,
Is there
bleh.
anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, what else you got?
At 10:50 a.m., with the oxygen levels already beyond critical, the rescue submersible started to lift the Pisces 3 from the seabed. It was a slow and rough journey, and the men found themselves completely disorientated, swaying through the water and being thrown around.
Oh, my God.
But all was going well until they had just 350 feet to go.
No.
The Curve, the submersible, got tangled in the ropes. Fortunately, they were able to untangle it quickly and resume the journey, having to stop for a second time at just 100 feet below the surface.
Oh, my God. You can see the light
Yeah,
now.
you would be getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
This time, divers...
They could jump out and run the rest of the way. You know what I mean? I'll take it. You know, when you're in traffic, you're getting dropped
Yeah,
off somewhere, you
yeah.
hit
You're like,
traffic.
oh, just drop me
Going
here.
to a concert,
Yeah,
drop me here.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
walk
yeah.
the rest of the way.
Yeah.
They could have done that.
I always feel bad for the driver because they're still stuck in traffic
See you, mate.
because of me, you know?
Yeah, they can get out before getting deeper into trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
They actually stopped at 100 feet so divers could attach heavier lift lines to get them up to the surface, more
Okay,
reliably.
yep.
At 1:17 p.m., the Pisces 3 cleared the water, but it took 30 more minutes to open the hatch to free the men as it had been jammed shut and wouldn't open upside down, the position they were in.
Shit.
Because of the crash.
Yeah. Because of the
Oh.
And remember, at this point, every moment is critical.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Imagine you got to the surface and then you just sort of you see the men passing out because you can't get them out. It would be such an awful feeling. But finally, it did open. Roger Chapman described the moment. He said, when they opened the hatch and fresh air and sunlight rushed in, it gave us blinding headaches. But we were sorted. We were euphoric. We were also a bit pathetic. It was quite difficult to climb out of the sub. We'd been so cramped up, we could hardly move.
Yeah.
But they had made it.
Oh my God.
We were also pathetic.
Yeah.
Come on, Roger.
We were sorted, but we were pathetic.
Have it sorted.
Bit pathetic.
Yeah, sort your shit out.
Oh, that's amazing. It's funny. Halfway through the story, when you're saying all this stuff like firsthand, what they were doing, I'm like, oh, they're going to make it because otherwise how would we know? And then I'm like, oh no, they can communicate in time.
yeah.
Oh my God, do they make it?
Yeah. When I said it's been described as traveling down the motorway, that was actually one of them saying, but I didn't want to give away that they definitely lived. So that was a quote from one of those guys. In total, the Rogers had been in Pisces 3 for 84 hours and 30 minutes.
Shit.
That's on 72 hours of oxygen. So they'd made it last an extra 12 and a half hours.
Wow.
And it had been an extremely close shave. Roger Chapman later told the BBC, when we looked in the cylinder, we had 12 minutes of oxygen left. That's how close it was. And it took them 30 minutes to open the lid.
That is wild.
12 minutes.
Oh.
They had just been a part of what is still the deepest successful submarine rescue in history.
Oh my God.
What year was this, Dave?
1973.
Wow.
So since then, the record has not been broken.
So they were in their 20s and 30s. So are they still? Do you know where they're at now?
Yeah, so I've got a bit of a postscript about what happened because it was a very big news story at the time. A bit like the Titan submersible that you mentioned earlier, Jess. At the time, while it was happening in real time, people knew that there were these two men trapped on the bottom, and that was on the front page of all the newspapers. And then they came out. They'd survived this big, big story. Roger Mallinson continued on working for Vickers, the company in submersibles, until 1978. So he continued doing the exact same thing for 5 years before becoming heavily involved in restoring steam engines, receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award from Prince Michael of Kent for his involvement with the Shamrock Trust in Windermere in 2013.
Wow. Okay.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Prince Michael of Kent.
Yeah. I've
Never heard of Prince Michael of Kent.
It's a lesser royal. But soon afterwards, Roger Chapman left Vickers and formed the company Rumic, which provided subsea services and operations to offshore and defence industries. And according to the BBC, quote, he became a leading authority on rescue submersibles, being mobilised to the sinking of the Kursk on behalf of the Royal Navy in 2000 and playing a central role in the successful rescuing of the 7-man crew of a Russian submarine in 2005. They were trapped 620 feet after their sub had become tangled in cables.
Wow.
And he helped save them. Roger Chapman died from cancer in 2020 aged 74, but until that point, the Rogers had remained close friends, meeting up every year.
I love it.
Possibly to share a lemonade and a cheese and chutney sandwich.
3 days old, I hope.
Yeah.
Keep it
As per
authentic.
tradition.
Yes.
It is very unpleasant, but it's a good reminder. Wow.
Roger Mallinson was still alive in his 80s as of June 2023 when the Titan submersible initially went missing, searching for the Titanic. He did a few interviews recounting his own ordeal, and this is why it got back in the news, because he was like the survivor of the deepest ever rescue and an expert.
But it sounds like that, because you wonder if going through something like that would have health effects into life, but it sounds like...
No, apparently not. They both kept working in the same industry. Of course, sadly, the crew on the Titan were all lost, and they were 8 times deeper at 12,500 feet. So that's how deep they were.
Oh.
Who was 8 times deeper?
You know, the Titan.
The Titan was 8 times deeper.
Yeah.
Right.
Than the deepest ever rescue. So
right. Wow.
They were so deep.
Shit.
But of his own underwater rescue, Roger Mallinson told the BBC...
So that's 16 Rialtos. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Wow. Can you believe it?
That's too many Rialtos.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah. You don't need that many gems of the sky.
No.
What? Is that what it is?
Yeah. What, the jewel in Melbourne Sky?
Jewel in Melbourne Sky.
Yeah.
What's a jewel if not a gem?
Exactly.
Yeah. I would have allowed it.
Thank you.
And I am probably the foremost expert on that beautiful building.
Yeah.
Certainly know its name.
Yeah.
And everything about it.
And the colour it is.
But of his own underwater rescue, Roger Mallinson told the BBC that if the submersible went down again, he wouldn't do anything differently. Roger Chapman was a great lad. Somebody else might have panicked. if I could have chosen anyone to go down with, it would have been him.
That's nice.
Straight to the pillow.
I just don't want anybody to say, if I could choose one person to be stuck underwater with, it would be Jess. Like, I'd be like, no, don't bring me with you.
Whoa. I don't want to come.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
We got 2 tickets. They won it in a radio
Yeah,
competition. I'm taking my friend Jess.
No, I don't want to do that.
Oh, there it is. That's the story of the rescue of the Pisces 3.
Oh, it's so good, Dave. I loved it. And I'm sorry for all the things I said, but luckily they've been cut out.
Yeah.
Hearing from Matt for the first time.
Matt does not appear in this episode.
Jeez, I said some nonsense. More than normal, it felt like.
Yeah, it did feel like that. For me as well. Dave, as per usual, was a perfect angel.
Oh, my God, he's good.
Thank you so much.
What a great report, Dave. High stakes.
But they all
High
survived.
reward.
They
Yeah.
all survived, which I'm so happy.
Yeah. Amazing.
Once again, the Patreon supporters, they voted correctly.
Yeah.
They chose the best one.
And we got to talk about how silly submarines are.
Yes.
Yeah.
But how sometimes they get into trouble, but also out of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like that part.
But of course, this in the end wasn't even an episode about submarines. This was about a submersible, which is different. And I knew that.
and we all knew that.
We all knew that. We all knew that.
Totally different. It's like turtles and tortoises.
Oh,
Similar, sure. Both got a shell.
Yep.
exactly.
Both got a head.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
And all turtles are tortoises and all tortoises are turtles. Something like that. One or the other. I
Yeah,
can't
one or
remember
the
which
other.
one.
Yeah.
Just choose the correct one in your mind.
Yeah. Well, what a tale. And I love a happy story with a happy ending. Actually, this story wasn't that happy.
Wasn't
but
that
the
happy,
ending was.
but the ending was
Yeah, they
nice.
stuck the landing. So
Yeah, that's what
we all feel
matters.
good.
And, well, did you know that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show? A lot of people, welcome to the show. If you've skipped through the story, you missed a good one. It's one of the ones that's worth
Might
going
be
back
worth
to.
going back, hit that little 15-second rewind button about
Catch the end.
400 times.
Yeah.
You're right.
But yeah, this part of the show is where we thank some of our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you want to get involved, go to patreon.com/2gonepod. And you can sign up on a bunch of different levels. There's the Sydney Scheinberg level. There's the Arse Prod level. There's the Dreamboat Cooper level. They all have different things. It's explained there, but other things you can get other than nothing that I've said so far.
Other than nothing, you can get
We talk
something.
professionally.
You've got, like Dave said, this topic was voted on by our supporters.
Yep.
You also get tickets, one-way tickets into the nicest corner of the internet, our Facebook group. We do Patreon catch-ups now. I did one at the Melbourne Comedy Festival with a group about, I think it was about 10 of us, and it was so much fun. Me and Seren went to did we go to the Boilermaker for your bucks, Dave? Was that one of the stops along the way?
No, we went to a similar whiskey bar.
Right.
The Boilermaker's very nice.
Yeah, we went there and I said, this might be where Dave, we went for Dave's bucks, I think. Anyway. So,
Revealing personal information.
yeah, that's the kind of stuff you get on the Patreon level.
Matt misremembers stuff.
I'll take you on the tour of where I think we went for Dave's bucks.
And then it turns out we didn't.
We didn't. What else do you get on there? You get to
Bonus episodes.
bonus episodes. That's right. We
That's
do
a big one.
3. We're talking about doing getting into our 4th a month. I bumped into Adam Carnivale
Oh.
just around the corner from here the other day.
Must be nice.
He was walking from home to the city. It was like a 3-hour walk he was doing.
Okay.
What a guy.
What a guy! Just had a backpack on. It was
It's going for a hike.
attacking the day. Yeah,
Sure.
the flattest hike you've ever done.
That's my kind of hike.
But yeah, we had a quick chat about the D&D series we're going to do. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. You get discounted tickets. You get the first dibs on tickets. You're the first to know about tours.
Yep.
And all these sort of things. You get to even give questions for the Who Knew It podcast. All sorts of stuff. Anyway, so patreon.com/2gonepod. But the first thing we do is called the Fact Quote or Question section. And it has a little jingle, I think, or something like that.
Fact, quote, or question.
Oh, he always remembers the bing. Sorry, the ding. And she always remembers the sing or the jingle. And if you're on the Sydney Scheinberg level or above, you get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question, or a break, or a suggestion. Whatever you like, really. And then I'll read them out on the show. I'll read them out for the first time on the show. That's just to forgive myself for any fumbles, stumbles, or bumbles I make. The first one this week comes from Samantha Cutler. And you also get to give yourself a title. And Samantha's title is Sam Spamalot III. And Sam Spamalot III has the suggestion,
Ooh.
oh, hey. It's spelled H quadruple A triple I.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, my three favourite E. Oh, my three favourites. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought they were saying
favourite E.
we were the three favourite E's. No. Oh, hey. I read these out for the first time on the show.
And it shows.
Oh, hey.
Stumbles, fumbles, or crumbles. You are grumbling before our very eyes.
Oh, hey. My three favourites. Big smiley emoji. E, 3 exclamation marks. I have a proposition for you. It's probably a stupid idea, but I just love it when Jess goes off on a good old rant.
Hey, when have I ever done that? I am mild-mannered.
I don't recall it. I
Good
don't recall it,
heavens.
Jess, certainly.
This is outrageous. This is defamation.
Mm. And Jess will be pursuing it in any legal channels that open themselves up to her.
Correct.
Be it about dumb jokes people make about goose being a goose, the pointlessness of submarines, appropriate, accountants being accountants,
Yeah.
numbers that are just wrong,
Yep.
or the soup being too damn hot.
Okay. Okay.
I love it.
I'm not a well person, am
Are
I?
you seeing yourself in a mirror?
Yeah, I'm not liking it.
Sam's putting a mirror up to you, and
Yeah.
you're not liking what you're seeing.
No.
But
I'm liking what I'm seeing.
yes,
I'm not liking what I'm hearing.
Since Dave has book cheat and Matt has knew it with Matt Stewart, oh my god, it's not quite the name. I
Close.
demand a Just Blabberthon side podcast. A demand. At some point that turned from a suggestion to a demand.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to rant, you might be building towards one. Anyway,
Do we accept demands?
No, we will not be. We do not negotiate with terrorists.
That's right.
My name for it would be Erkins with Perkins.
That's not bad.
I'm sure you guys can come up with something better, but anywho, just putting it out there into the glorious do go on averse. P.S. The secret whispering into the microphone bit the other day was so flippin' funny. Sigh. P.P.S. Greg room for all. Love you guys. Okay, bye. What do you think, Jess?
I think obviously you've absorbed a lot of information, a lot of things that that irk me.
Mm.
But one thing you haven't picked up on is that I cannot be told to do anything.
Mm.
So now that you've said I have to do a podcast, now I refuse.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the way to get me to do. You have to trick me into doing stuff, not tell me to do it. So
Where
now
do
I'm
you think
never
that
doing
comes
it.
from?
Childhood.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, go clean your room, you'd say, fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck you, John.
that's right.
That's what you'd say.
That's why I'm not the favourite.
And there's two of you.
And that's why you are, quote unquote, an oxygen thief.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is off topic, but just something you should never do is a podcast called Erkins with Perkins.
Well, go fuck yourself, Matt. I'm going to launch it next week.
Well, I don't think you should.
Well, fuck you. No, I'm launching it tomorrow.
Yes.
We did
Good
it.
one.
Samantha.
What are your thoughts on the name, though? You don't have to make it.
It
but-
irks me, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like
What
it.
would you prefer?
But isn't that perfect?
Yeah.
You'd start off on the wrong foot every time, which is
Yeah.
the right foot.
Welcome to Erkins with Jess Perkins. Fuck, that's bad. Oh, my God.
I thought I was quite nice, but maybe I'm not.
No, you are quite nice, and then you go on a rant sometimes. It's fun.
Okay.
I don't think anyone takes them seriously. Did
I
you hear
do.
the targets you had?
I do.
Submarines and
Sorry.
accountants? No one cares about any of them. You pick silly targets.
Maybe it should just be called Silly Targets.
Silly targets.
That's pretty good. That's terrible.
terrible.
Don't
So
do it.
terrible.
Don't do it.
Thank you so much, Samantha Cutler. The next one comes from Patrick J. Early, brackets not late. And
Love that.
Getting in early with his own early joke.
Love that.
that's classic Early, isn't
Oh,
it?
Patrick J. Ellis is the musician, right?
I'm
pretty sure. Has shared his music with us before.
Well, Patrick J.
Okay.
has the title, The Officially Viciously Slippery Fish and Chippery of the Local Fishery, unofficially.
Unbelievable. He does it every time.
How could you do that?
You know how he does it? His brain just shuts off.
Wait, what?
And he just reads it perfectly. And then he tries to say Matt Stewart and he goes bleep, bleep, bleep. Like he can't do it. It's incredible. People try to trip him up with a tongue twister and he just glides right through. He Bradbury's it. Just beautiful sliding in.
I get my own way a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a joke.
Ooh.
Um,
This better be good. I am unpleasant. I'm hearing it now. Okay.
Through the headphones?
Yeah.
Here we go. Hello, mates. I have a joke that my partner's sister told us 2 Christmases ago, and it still makes me laugh.
Love it.
What's the difference between a lobster with breast implants and a decrepit bus stop? One's a busty crustacean and the other's a crusty bus station.
Okay, that's good.
That's pretty fun. Imagine a lobster with big boobs. That's good stuff.
That's good stuff, actually. Now that I get it, that's good stuff. Now that I know it's boobs. Can you imagine that? A lobster with boobs, that is.
That's funny. I'm imagining it wearing a bikini.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it.
Can't cover up those
Yeah.
big boobs.
Yeah. Come on. Hey, we don't free the nipple down there in the sea. Then Patrick says, thanks for the laughs and have a great Easter to all who celebrate.
Thank you for the laughs.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
Thank
laughs.
you for the laughs. And we had a delightful Easter.
Yeah, well, you're a bit late, but that's okay.
That's on us, really, I guess.
Yeah, oh, jeez. It's not on us.
At the time of recording, Easter
Wait,
was 2
hang
days
on.
ago, so.
Patrick J. Early, he's talking about 2025. Easter.
Oh, that's nice.
Good
It
one.
was hidden in plain sight.
That's nice.
Thank you, Patrick. Next one comes from, Nathan Damon, aka the group Dad.
Hi, Dad.
If your
Hello.
kids don't pipe down, I'll turn this car around.
Dad!
No.
Shouldn't it be road train? He's the road train.
Takes
driver.
a
Sure,
long
he's
time to-
also allowed to drive a car.
Long time to turn around the road train.
I think once you get a road train license, you're not allowed to drive anything.
You have to hand in the car
Yeah,
license.
It's too small.
We have to attach like your Elantra to 58 other Elantras
yeah.
and stop
Yeah.
driving around that way.
Yeah.
Elantra. Oh, sorry.
La-di-da.
58.
Pod Dad's got a suggestion as well. 2 suggestions this week.
Whoa.
Hi, guys. At the time of writing, there's been some snippets released for the highly anticipated 2nd season of Beer Pioneer. I recommend everyone get onto YouTube and like and subscribe to the channel. Series 1 is up there and well worth watching, and if you've already seen it, watch it again. It's well worth it. Let's all get around this great show so that Matt can do a 3rd season, maybe in WA. Matt, I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable, but the people need to know. Well, yes, it did, and thank you for...
That's very nice.
For people who may not have heard of it, should we say what Beer Pioneer is? Point them in the right direction.
Yeah, so this 1st season followed in the path of William Buckley, an escaped convict in what is now Victoria. Victoria didn't exist at the time. And he ended up living with Indigenous people of the area from the Wathaurong people for 30-something years.
Wow.
He was accepted in and but we followed that sort of path. Only stopped at breweries along the way, and he walked it. We drove.
That's probably the better way to do it.
Each episode's a different brewery or 2, and then there's also telling the story as we go along,
Yeah, it's
interviewing
awesome.
a few people. 2nd season, which is in the editing, been in a long editing process, went from Adelaide to Darwin, and that was awesome. Going through the Red Centre and pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Got a tattoo.
Yes, you did.
Wow.
That's sick.
That is actually
The
cool.
same. I think the same day I got the tattoo, I was in a haiku competition. So they got me doing silly things, but it was fun.
The show has range.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much, Nathan. And yeah, the 2nd season should be coming soon. But yeah, it's up there for people to watch if they want to.
And also, Group Dad, Dave stole my Discman. Can you make him give it back to me,
come
please?
on, no. That was a shared Discman.
But, okay, then why won't you share with me and we have 1 earbud each?
No.
Dad!
I like to listen to no effects in stereo.
Nathan, if you could sort that out. Me and Dad, we're on first name basis.
Well, you are much, much older than us. You're from
What?
Dad's first marriage.
That's right.
We came along a long time later.
The last one this week comes from Michael Dorissi, a.k.a. I will always answer your call, Matt, except when I often can't be bothered. I must have called out for more submissions.
That's fair. It is a lot of work for you.
I thought you were just bothering Dorizzi with phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dorizzi, baby. I can imagine that, 3 a.m.
He's asking a question, writing, is Dave really fine? I know he's in inverted commas back, but how do we know that he isn't an AI replacement to cover up some heinous act?
Oh, come on, ask me anything. I'll prove myself.
He's just asked, are you fine?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
There's a couple more questions.
Oh, okay.
Or one more question.
Yep.
Has anyone actually seen Dave in the last several weeks? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, you're looking at me right now?
I'm looking at him. I've been looking at him all
I'm
day.
here. I'm in the room. I know I was on Zoom last week, but I'm back. I'm in the room.
Oh,
Definitely
no,
here.
sorry. There's one more question.
Oh.
What have you done to him?
Oh,
Nothing.
Nothing.
I haven't done anything to him. I mean,
New
me.
Dave is so good. I mean, Dave, always Dave is really great.
Yes.
Yeah, and fine.
I'm fine.
I've done
He's
heaps to
fine.
him.
We haven't replaced Dave with this new Dave.
No.
Why would
This
we do
is-
that?
This is Dave.
Why would we do that? We love Dave even when he had all those behavioural issues that he had before,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have anymore.
We didn't need to upgrade him.
No.
And we wouldn't have even.
Why
like,
would you?
How could it? Could we? I don't know.
How do you upgrade a human being, a real
not that
human?
sort of technology available.
That would have cost like exactly $4,997, which you didn't spend.
We didn't.
And we don't have.
Thanks, new Dave. I think we got away with that. All right, the next thing we need to do. Oh, should I just say quickly? Thanks so much for the facts, quotes, and questions from Michael, Nathan, Patrick, and Samantha. Next thing we like to do is thank a few of our other great supporters. Jess normally comes up with a game based on the topic at hand.
I was thinking we name their submersible.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Can I kick
Am I
it
using
off?
the wrong word again?
No.
That's correct?
Submersible is a smaller one.
Yeah.
I
The
call them
submersible.
submergibles, but yeah,
Yeah. I don't want to name their submarine.
no.
I want
Yeah.
to name their submersible.
All right, if I can kick us off, I'd love to thank from Costa Mesa in California. Costa Mesa? Krista Murphy.
Krista Murphy. That's a fantastic name.
Fantastic name. So fantastic that Krista spelt it in all caps.
Yeah. You yelled it at us.
I love that.
Okay. Name of submersible.
So what have we?
Massive.
What are the ones?
We've had Pisces 3. We've had the Curve 3.
Okay, so we need it's a word and a number.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a word and a number. So I'll kick us off. We'll go
Okay.
around the table. The
Banana.
7.
fantastic. It's a banana
Always
flavor.
banana.
You can't think of
I don't even
anything
like
else.
bananas that much.
If we went back to you again, would it be banana the next time?
Well, no, because I've said it once now, but it's what I'll think
Okay.
first. It's always
It's a
banana.
banana 7.
I've been researching the history of bananas for the sleep show I do, and I'm like, I reckon there could be a do go on report in the history of bananas.
Wow.
There's
I
a
thought
lot
about doing
to
it for lemons too. It's one of those things that like you think they're everywhere, but
Yeah.
they weren't always everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jess, will you find that riveting or boring?
Oh, hard to say.
It is funny that Matt is doing it for the show that he literally does to put you to sleep.
And you're thinking of it for our show that's supposed to be
Yeah.
entertaining.
No, his is about lemons.
Yeah.
Very much more
different.
entertaining fruit. The next person I'd love to thank is from Exeter and Devon. Beautiful. I've spent some time in Exeter. Lovely spot. Nesta Wilson.
Okay, I'll kick us off.
Yes.
The
Dreamboat.
6.
I thought banana.
I'm sure AJ will have edited it down, but that gap was quite long.
Yeah.
Waiting for you.
a lot of crying.
I went banana, then grapefruit, and then
The
dreamboat.
Grapefruit 6 is pretty. But Dreamboat 6 is that
Yeah, that's really
out of all the ones that we've heard on the show, that's the one I'd trust.
The
Yeah.
dreamboat.
The Dreamboat 6.
Yeah, fair.
What happened to the first 5 Dreamboats?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're off in their dreams, so to speak. Mate, that's another word for boat heaven. Finally, for me, from Bonnython in the ACT. Dave, you've spent some time up there. Am I saying that right? Bonnython?
I don't know the name of that suburb, I'm afraid.
Anyway, from Bonnython in the ACT, it's Amy Jackson.
I'll start. The
Sour Patch.
Sour Patch 1.
The
The
Sour
original.
Patch one. It is hard.
It is tough.
Let's send it round to Dave next.
I agree. I tried to that time.
And I don't know why I
You jumped in. You absolutely
Okay.
did.
And I'm like, why it's sour? He's just been talking about lemons.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
gave you grapefruit and it gave me sour.
Yeah, we're stupid.
Oh.
Dave, do you want to thank some people?
I'd love to thank from location unknown. We can only assume they are deep, deep within the fortress of the moles. Maybe they're closer to the bottom of the ocean than we are right now.
Oh my God, maybe they're even below it.
Oh, wow, that's so crazy. And thank you to Horus Lupercal.
Oh.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Matt, do you want to start this one off?
Yep, the.
Garibaldi.
6.
What's Garibaldi mean, Dave?
It's like a type of biscuit, but also a military dictator.
Type of biscuit.
Who was named after who?
Yeah.
Because both seem inappropriate. We're naming our boy after a biscuit. Oh, we're naming our biscuit after a dictator. Which is more fucked? I don't know.
It's the Garibaldi. The Garibaldi 6.
Wow.
Good one, everyone.
That's good stuff.
Good one, everyone.
Yeah, well done. And finally, well, actually not finally, I'd like to thank also from location unknown, maybe even closer.
Whoa.
To the Mariana Trench, Alex Bain.
Alex Bain.
Okay, the
Carbonara.
14.
first 13, a little too creamy.
Yeah.
Hard to get super creative with a number. But I thought 14 hit a nice balance.
It did. It was nice. I
The
like
highest
that.
we've gone.
Yeah.
And finally from me, I would like to thank from Rockville, Maryland. It is Timothy Murphy.
I know a Timothy Murphy, but
From
he
Maryland?
lives in Melbourne.
You couldn't think of these.
Serengeti.
Oh, 4,000.
Oh!
You've gone quite a lot
It's
bigger.
more of a, there's not 3,909. It's one of the things where you, like, you
You
know.
start at 4,000.
Yeah, you start at 4,000.
Do you think Serengeti's an appropriate name for a submersible?
I like it.
Yeah, wetland.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think it's fine.
Serengeti 4,000. That's a good name.
I'd love to thank some people. I would love to thank from Aurora in Colorado, I assume, CO.
Yeah.
I would love to thank Lucas Azcaraga.
I don't know if you've quite got that.
I don't think I have either because I laughed through it.
Lucas Azcaraya.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
What about
Might
Lucas
be a soft J.
Yeah,
Soft G.
Azcaraja?
Oh,
Lucas
that's it.
Azcaraja.
That's going to be it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Sorry, I fumbled so much. Okay, who wants to start?
All right, you start. Okay. Cucamonga.
9.
The Cucamonga 9. They sound like they're on trial.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
But that's just because of the
Yeah.
Chicago 9, is it?
I'll say anything with 9.
Maybe in
Oh,
my
maybe,
head.
yeah.
Rancho Cucamonga. Is that what you?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's where I got
probably.
it from. Yeah, but it's just a good word.
It is a great
Cucamonga
word. What
9.
does it mean?
I would also like to thank from another ACT suburb that I'm definitely going to butcher, Gungahlin?
Gungahlin.
Or Gungahlin.
Gungahlin? I would love to thank Beck Murden.
Beck Murden.
Murden.
Okay,
The
Rainbow.
500.
ooh,
That's good.
beautiful round number.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Cucamonga was derived from a Spanish rancheria, and the meaning has been variously interpreted as sandy place or place of many springs. So that's a very appropriate name, Dave.
Perfect.
Sounds
Sandy
nice.
and or wet.
Yes,
Perfect combo. And finally, I would love to thank from Westminster, also Colorado.
Wow.
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 I would love to thank Buster Blue.
Buster Blue. Oh,
I
man,
mean,
that's a pretty great name in
yeah,
itself.
it is. But if you live your life as a Buster Blue,
Buster Bluth as well as the
Oh, yeah.
It's very close to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, the
Dust Mite.
69.
nice. The dust one at 69.
Look at a couple of dust mites going at it.
If you're
Dinner for
on
two
the
dust
bottom of the
mites.
ocean, they say, "Don't worry, the rescue vehicle's here." Okay, which one is it? The Dust Mite 69.
Great.
It's got masking tape on the side.
Yeah.
It's, like,
You're like,
it's still
okay.
made out of wood and leather.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to need you to record a message for my wife. I'm not feeling good about this.
All right, so the last thing we need to do is welcome some people into the Triptych Club. Actually, just the one name this week,
No.
I believe. Let me just double check that.
No.
While I'm double checking
Sorry,
that,
I
Dave, do
haven't
you want to
looked.
explain what it is?
Basically, this is our Theatre of the Mind Hangout Club Hall of Fame, where we induct as many people as we can every single week that have been supporting the show on the shout-out level or above for 3 consecutive years. We already gave them a shout-out a couple of years back, but to enshrine them forever, to thank them for their loyal service and support of the show, we welcome them into this club that you can enter but never leave. But why would you want to leave? There's bands, there's food, there's drink, there's entertainment, there's hangout zones, there's sport on the TV, there's ice hockey, air hockey, ice hockey. It's quite big.
It's as big as you want it to be.
It's very, very big.
Yep.
Jess is also behind the bar inside this Theatre of Your Mind venue and normally has a drink.
Well, I've got a lot of
Special?
seafood this week.
Oh, great.
I don't eat, so, please eat up. Got prawn cocktail, some fish, some lobster with big boobs.
Oh, my God. I said I wasn't here to fuck fish. Didn't say anything about lobster.
You can't feel good about that.
No, I don't feel too good about that. I don't feel too good about that.
And I've got little plastic submarines that I'm going to put in the bottom of all your drinks. So it is a bit of a choking hazard. Just be careful as you get to those final sips.
Bit of a choking hazard, but also a bit of fun.
It will look very cute.
Worth it.
Yeah, it will look cute.
Dave, you also book a band?
Yes, and you're never going to believe it. I book these bands months, sometimes years in advance because they're in demand.
They got touring schedules.
They're headlining Glastonbury.
Yeah.
That's how big this artist is. Huge.
Whoa.
You know that, but obviously it's just a coincidence they're coming up this week. You know them as the singer of the Arctic Monkeys, Alex Turner, and tonight he's performing solo in its entirety the soundtrack to the film Submarine that he wrote. It's Alex Turner.
Whoa.
You can't believe Submarine. Live.
Huge.
How about that?
Huge.
I'm standing on the door. I've got the clipboard. There's a list of just one name. I'm about to read it out. If you hear your name, jog on in. You got to hit the ground running. As you enter the club, Dave's on stage. He's letting everyone who's already inside know, and there's hundreds of people in there. He'll be hyping you up for them and them up for you. It's sort of like a MC69, and Jess is there hyping up Dave because he does pretty weak wordplay, and he doesn't feel great about it, or he shouldn't at least. All right, so we ready to go?
Yep.
Please welcome into the club from Newport in Great Britain. It's James Raymond.
James Raymond. Everybody loves James.
Yes! Find a fault in that, you miserable old fuck.
That was fantastic. Welcome in, James. Just recapping the names. James. Welcome in, James. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Is there anything we need to tell people, Jess, before we go?
We think they're great, and don't listen to what your mum says.
Yeah, your mum's wrong.
She's wrong about you. You do have potential. If you would like to submit a topic, anybody can do that. There's a link in our show notes. It's also on our website, which is dogoonpod.com, where you can find information about live shows and all the other podcasts we do on this wonderful network of ours, if I may say so myself, as the person who contributes the least to the network. We also...
Hey, Erkins with Jess Perkins is happening.
It's coming. Spring 2025. We also have social media that you can find us on at dogoonpod across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And that's about it. David, boot this baby home.
We will be back next week. We'll commit to that with another episode. But until then, I'll say thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.
Bye. We're just taking it week by week.